The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Oh, we no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented.
I have no idea what's going on.
That guy right there. It's par for the course.
It's been that kind of weekend.
It has so far, and the weekend continues. This is part 2. We haven't done a two-parter episode in a long time, but I didn't want to release like a 4-hour episode or however long this is going to end up being.
AC Beer Fest.
This is the exciting and thrilling conclusion to the Atlantic City Beer
Part
and
2.
Music Festival.
The Beer Reckoning.
Parto Dos.
Round 2 fight.
Round 2 fight indeed.
Round 2 fight.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. Lots of cool stuff happened last time. We are recording this a little bit before the second session, the Saturday morning session starts, and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones are doing their sound check on stage right now, which, I feel like that happened at the end of last episode, too. They've been sound checking for a long fucking time.
If you happen to listen to these two episodes back to back, you may notice some familiarity between the outro and this intro.
Although, to be fair, I think I recognize this song more than I did the last one. Actually,
Is this
Yeah.
the impression that I get?
No, it is not. I don't get the impression that it's that song.
I can't place it. I know the tune. I know the tune, but I can't think of what
This
it's called.
is thrilling podcasting
It really
content
is.
right here, right now.
And
Yes.
just think, if you were here right now, well, you wouldn't hear soundcheck, but you could point out to me while they're on what this song is when they're actually playing. Come next year.
Hey,
For
my
sure.
ticket for next year's sold just based on that alone, Dan. I'm going to come here and tell you what songs the bands are playing.
Listen,
that sounds super exciting.
That is a job somebody out there should do, and I'm sure somebody is willing to do it.
You know what? This is a super unique event, though. I mean,
really is.
Yeah.
Not only do you have 3 amazing freaking bands, but you also have like the acoustic stage. You have like this silent disco. There's those big ball things you can get in and hit each other with. You can throw axes. There's 168 freaking breweries here with a crap ton of beer, and
Yeah, there's
it's
what,
just,
like 600? Is that how many beers
yeah,
we were
it's
estimating?
insane. It's unlike
Any other event.
pretty
Yeah.
much any other event.
Yeah, and I love the way that they make sure to incorporate the live music. Because like you said, you do have the main stage, and then you have that acoustic stage, which our friends at Tonewood are sponsoring.
Yes. And I love that a lot of breweries are bringing some really special shit. Like Founders was pouring CBS last night, and I believe they still have some saved for today.
They better.
Spellbound had an amazing firkin of an Imperial Stout yesterday that was so tasty. You either will or have already heard our interview with John. Not sure how these two are going to splice this episode together, but it's it's unlike any other fest around for sure.
It's kind of like it's. I imagine it's like Comic-Con for beer.
Yeah,
That's a good way to
I
put
You
it.
know what I mean? It's a huge open space. There's tons of breweries here, but then there's all kinds of other cool stuff going on. And there was even a guy dressed as Jon Snow yesterday. So
There was.
and a lot of other people dressed as
He
random
wanted
other
to
things.
crash the podcast.
Yeah, well, that was towards the end of the night. That
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot that's going to go down on this part of the episode and
Yeah.
over the next 2 sessions. We've got a lot of cool interviews lined up.
Yes.
And I can't wait to get to them. But I do, of course, we need to thank a company called Good Time Tricycle Productions, because they were kind enough to make sure that we have electricity so that we can record. Because apparently at the Beer Fest, if you're a vendor, electricity is not included.
You know, they
which I never would have thought of. But like, if you're a brewery, chances are you don't really need electricity.
They remind me of the Babe. What Babe? The Babe with the power.
Huh?
It's the power of the voodoo. Hoodoo. You do what?
What?
Remind me of the Babe.
Rich got it.
I didn't. Did you? Did you, Steph?
Rich is over there singing along.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets it.
But
So, yeah,
special thanks to Good Time Tricycle Productions, because
Thanks
this
to the
literally
electricity.
would not have happened.
And to the AC
had they
Beer
not done
Fest for
this.
having us and all the
Of
other
course.
podcasters here on Podcast Row. It's
Yeah,
a really cool
it's
thing
really
they're
cool.
doing.
I said it at the beginning of last episode, but it feels awesome because I get to say that I'm in like a podcast row. It's like Radio Row, the Super Bowl. It's just a bunch of radio stations lined up next to each other, and I never thought I would get to be included in something like that.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
This is so cool. So without further ado,
Sit back,
sit back,
relax.
and enjoy a beer and enjoy these interviews. Hopefully we get to turn you on to some new breweries that you haven't heard of or been to before. But here it is, part 2 of the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival. As the day goes on and the more beers I have, the less names I have to remember it's way for the better. So we lucked out because now we have Chris and we have Chris, both of whom are from 8 and Sand Brewing. So,
How you
gentlemen,
doing?
first off, thank you for coming up here.
Thank you for having us.
So how are you guys doing?
Doing very well so far. We, have been pouring a lot of beer last night. Everything's going well this morning. Trying a lot of great New Jersey beer that things we don't have all the time and don't see all the time. It's been a great event so far.
It's hard for us to get out, so this is perfect.
Yeah.
It's nice that they have you guys all situated together, all of the New Jersey brewers, so you can kind of hang out and drink each other's beer. And
Yeah, and I think that everyone here appreciates that too. They
sure.
They just stick around that area. It's awesome.
very cool. So where in New Jersey are you located for our listeners?
So we are in Woodbury, New Jersey. We're just over the bridge from Philadelphia, about 15 minutes from Center City. We're about 50 minutes from here, and we're located right on a railroad track that runs from Camden to Glassboro, hence the 8 and Sand branding and the quick and safe travels, which is the meaning of 8 and Sand.
Oh, did we know that?
I didn't. I was going to ask where it came from, but
Someone
there we
did
are.
research.
There's
Wade.
a sign in your
No.
brewery that says that, isn't
I think
there?
we learned it when we were there. I don't think we knew
You
that.
saw it on
yet.
the big I-beam.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Quick and safe travels.
Yes.
And we talked to someone there who explained it, I think.
Awesome.
Whoever was behind the bar. Yeah.
We went to a lot of breweries
That was
day.
that was a good day. Yeah. That was when we were tracking down all the medal winning beers. So we're like,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That was our we only drink metal
we
winning
only
beer
drink
days.
medal winning beers.
Well, because so many breweries in Eastern PA and New Jersey scored some medals this year at GABF, so that's
they
really
did.
awesome. So I guess we should probably start by talking about that. As I mentioned when you guys sat down before we officially started recording, Bad Hombre won this year in the chili beer category, which
Yeah.
is my personal favorite beer category, as our listeners know very well. So why don't you talk about that beer first?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is Bad Hombre is a milk stout that we did with Serrano chilies. It's got Ceylon cinnamon, Madagascar vanilla, and then coffee, cold brewed espresso coffee from Square One, who they roast right in Lancaster. They have a couple cafes in Philadelphia that I found their coffee a couple years ago working in the city, and we've been using it for all our coffee beers since.
You're clearly not from Pennsylvania because you called it Lancaster.
You're right.
I love it.
Lancaster?
Absolutely.
Lancaster.
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 Imagine it the worst way you could say it possible, and that's the right way.
That's the way we say it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like Newark and Newark,
Yeah, it
in
took me
New
forever
Jersey.
to get my head
Exactly.
around that one.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Trenton.
Trenton.
Trenton
Trenton.
versus
Trenton.
Trenton.
Yeah.
I still don't think we say it right.
Probably
That's
not.
fine.
This beer is awesome. It is so well balanced. I think the cold brew coffee takes it to an extra level, and the cinnamon is super nice. Now, if there's one complaint, I do wish it had a little more heat, but I know I have a tolerance that most people don't. I know.
Exactly. He loves the heat. I like heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a balance here.
Yeah.
It's funny. The peppers do vary. I mean, we've done a few different batches of this now, of pilot batches, and then scaling it up. And we just put this in bottles, so we have this available in bottles in the tasting
sweet.
room now.
Yeah.
And the peppers we do by mass, by weight, and that can really vary the actual heat level, the Scoville units of those
Right.
peppers that we use for a particular batch. That's tough, a little tougher to control. So we have had some that have been a little higher on the Scoville scale, and we get people who are, blown out by it and can't drink it, and then it goes back and forth. We try to keep it as balanced as we can. So.
Well, it's quite delicious. I really enjoy it. And I think it gives chili beers a good name because some people are very resistant to try them. And, I don't know if it's because of the heat or because of the vegetal character. But this really shows that you can create a very complex and tasty beer and celebrate a pepper.
And
So I
that
love
you can pair those chili characters with things you might not expect, like coffee and the cinnamon and vanilla type characters, which
Exactly.
you might not always think would go with chili, but yeah,
Yep.
it works really well.
Yeah, if you've ever had like a chili chocolate, it's
like
delicious.
a Mexican
it
hot
the fat
chocolate,
kind of
yeah.
cuts through the heat a little bit,
Yeah,
which is
for
interesting.
sure. So how long have you guys been open?
So we opened 2016 in September, so a year and a half about, right? Yeah. Yeah, and
Probably feels much longer.
we've been planning it since 2014.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We got lots of phone calls, lots of beer batches in my garage. He brewed before he was allowed to drink it. Don't tell
Since
him.
I turned 21.
Oh, yes, since he turned 21. Yes. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Very cool. Now, what was the building prior to the brewery?
So yeah,
It's a very unique space.
Well, it was vacant for 3 years. There was
Uh-huh.
nothing there, But before that, it was a pasta factory, Corsetti's Pasta Factory.
Interesting.
Yes, yeah. And before that, it was a mechanic, and it changed. It changed over the years. But yeah, we revamped it. It was not the nicest place to look at. It was not the easiest build, right? But yeah, we definitely. I like to think we turned it around pretty nice.
When we first walked through the building, both of our wives thought we were insane. Absolutely. We're like, what are you doing?
No.
I feel like that's a common story for anyone who starts a brewery. Your wife is going to think you're insane, or your husband.
Yep. What are you thinking? Why are you doing
how
blah,
it
blah,
goes?
blah.
Yeah.
So which
Trust
is
me.
this one?
This is IPA number 2.
IPA number 2.
So this is our, one of our New England style IPAs. It uses Cascade, Citra, and Mosaic hops. We started using last year combinations of lupulin powder in this, so it's got Mosaic lupulin powder with Citra, normal Citra hop pellets, and then some Cascade lupulin powder also, which is just a new hop product they have out there that's basically all of the aroma and flavor characteristics separated from the hop plant, so that you can use a lot more with a lot better yield, basically, and not so much vegetation in the final product.
And at what point in the process do you add that?
So most of that is in dry hopping. There's it's very low bitterness. It's really only about 35, 40 IBUs. So almost all the hops go in at the end of the boil, whirlpool, and dry hopping.
So IPA number 2, is this an ever-growing series of IPAs that next will be 3 and 4, or are these ones that you rebrew?
It was supposed to be when we started, and then this one was so good, we just stopped making. There is no number 3.
Don't mess with it, right?
Yeah, we did. So we did our first IPA used Pacifica and some other New Zealand hops, I think. And then this was our second, we'll continue to just change up these hop profiles. And this one just hit really well for us, and we've continued to do it. We do have the Hop Track series now, which we'll be putting out new cans at the end of the month of actually a West Coast IPA called Track 18, where we're just doing more experimentation with hop profiles and different IPA styles.
Very cool.
So you said this is one of the any IPAs that you do. How many do you do?
So this Hop Track series, we've actually done probably 3 or 4 new pilot batches of different hop combinations with similar bases of that English ale yeast, the oats, and everything.
There's a preview at the label that hasn't hit shelves yet.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I like
it. Yeah, so this is our first West Coast style that we'll have out, that Track 18, and then we actually have a few more that are in the pipeline that'll be probably tend toward that fruitier, less bitter side over the summer.
So next, this is the APA.
Yes, that's the Bow Chaser APA. So we try to brand things where we can, kind of obscurely related to train terms, right? So a bow chaser is actually a train yard police officer because they just chased hobos. Bow chaser, yeah.
So
That makes sense.
did the branding and the name was that inspired by the location?
Exactly, it was. We were originally South Jersey Brewing Company, which we were for a couple months, before we opened, obviously, and we kind of said, hey, that's a little bland. Like, what can we really want a brand that everyone can get behind and knows what it is. Well, Woodbury was basically built on trains. It has some of the oldest train lines in the state. Okay, so trains. So, we don't want to be in your face, train brewery. What obscure term can we find?
I like
Eight and
train
Sand.
brewery.
Yeah, Eight and Sand. That's kind of an interesting name.
I find it really interesting that nobody else in South Jersey would have used South Jersey Brewing Company before you guys become Eight and Sand.
Well, there's some legal stuff that prevents you from using kind of generic terms like that.
Okay.
Well, from protecting them, right. So somebody else could today open up South Jersey Brewing
Yes.
Company, but
Right.
they'd have no way to legally protect themselves from another guy doing it after.
Next
basically.
door to them.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. You learn stuff.
Yeah, you do. You do.
This is why we got into this business, right? To be involved in copyright and trademark law.
Gosh, and the politics is crazy. That's something I'd
I want
never
to know
would've
everything
suspected.
about copyright and liquor laws. This is how you learn.
Exactly.
And now finally we have a Gruit.
Very, very interesting style.
Are you guys the only one that brought a Gruit to the table today?
Probably.
I would guess that's probably the case.
Yeah, you don't see
Nothing
it
wrong
brewed
with
very
that.
often.
No, so this is something we started working on last fall, right before like Thanksgiving time. So this beer has no hops in it. It's a really old European style, basically before hops were in use, where they used combinations of different herbs and spices to create bitterness and balance the maltiness and the sweetness of the beer.
Even just from the aroma, you can tell it's going to be wonderfully layered beer.
It's
Complex.
got a lot
Yep.
of there's a lot that goes into it. It's got ginger, juniper,
wow.
sweet gale, cardamom.
Mugglewort. What is it?
Mugwort.
Harry Potter ingredients.
There's like 10 different things that
Got
different herbs and
a dash of Patronus.
You're right.
Yes.
Wormwood, all kinds of oddball things that kind of balance that sweetness of it and create a really cool spice character.
Yeah, we
So-
felt it was kind of a good winter beer, kind of a lot
Yeah.
of spices and kind of.
And it's very unique. And like you said, nobody else will bring a Gruit to a fest like this, but have people been
That's
drinking
funny
this
you
one a
say
lot?
that. We've been pouring it a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Because I guarantee nobody else has it, and it's very unique that it's here. It's delicious. Oh, it's great.
Thank you.
It
Thank you.
is super tasty. Well, thank you guys for coming up to the table.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for making Bad Hombre, and please
you-
continue to do
You
so.
are welcome.
If at any point you want to age that on something, just let me know. I'll be there to drink it.
Hey.
You guys have to stay tuned. We actually have 2 tequila barrels that came into the brewery.
Oh, nice.
So
Ask
keep
and you
keep
shall
your eye
receive.
on Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
And then a Firkin with some Carolina Reapers.
Yes.
for staff.
Jesus.
Now
No.
you're talking my language.
We did one.
Whoa.
We did a smoked wheat beer that I put long hot chilies in, which that's a real South Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But that one you would have liked because it was very, very hot.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was a one time. There are very few of us that can handle that level.
All right, I'll keep stalking you on Facebook and
Steph
watch.
loves that kind of stuff. I will try it just to say I did, but I will probably cry.
Yeah.
But
Fair
I-
enough.
I look forward to hopefully another one, but the tequila aging, absolutely. I will keep an ear to the ground for
I
that.
do those really hot beers. Just a sip.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a sip. All right, guys, on that note, Chris and Chris, have fun today.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you very
guys.
much.
See ya.
Cheers.
The day is chugging along. Second session here at Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival. And we have joining us at the table now the guys from Atco Brewing. We have Dan and we have Sean. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Good.
Wonderful, man.
Awesome. Thank you for coming up to the table.
No problem.
how's-
Today's a good day.
Today is a damn good day. How's the fest been treating you guys so far? We're just about halfway through overall.
Yeah, it's a good crowd today. Last night was a little slow, but it looks like it's picking up.
Yeah. Last night was I didn't expect it. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. So last night was like manageable, and I didn't know this would be today.
Just wait. You ain't seen nothing
so
yet.
I've heard. So I've heard. I had a friend who's here, who his friend is performing at the acoustic stage over at Tonewood. So I walked over to meet them. It took me like 15 minutes to get from here over to Tonewood, which for anybody who's not here, in reality might be like, I don't know, 200 feet away,
Well,
give or take.
Dan, the thing.
You should have gone the back
The
way.
trick is you go back behind the curtain and you walk around the
now I
perimeter.
know. Now I know.
He's for the people, though.
Exactly.
That's
With
gotta
the
be
proletariat, not against.
amongst the people.
Amongst
Let
the
them eat
people.
cake. Let them eat cake. So
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
Atco Brewing Company.
As far as Atco goes, for anyone who may not be familiar, where is Atco located? And don't say Atco. Like, where in Atco?
We're located in Camden County, right off of Route 73, where the Route 73 Route 30 intersection.
Oh, I
Where-
know literally exactly where that is.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
We're about a mile east of that intersection.
Okay, cool. And I know, so your shirt, Sean, has on established 2015. When in 2015 did you guys open?
We were actually not established in 2015.
Well, your shirt is lying to me, sir.
It's a lie. It's all a lie.
the shirt is a lie.
We started in 2015, but we didn't actually open the doors to start serving beer until 2016.
Okay.
But there was a lot of work in 2015, but it wasn't
so
brewing.
it was an idea in 2015.
Yeah. Actually 2014.
Okay.
So your shirt also has a train on it. That seems to be a theme with New Jersey breweries. So was Atco a big train area?
Well, the big thing with is earlier you had 8 and Sand.
Right.
So they established the train theme. ATCO is actually an acronym for Atlantic Transport Company out of West Virginia.
I had no idea.
Oh wow. Huh.
I always wondered where it came from.
But here's the thing, like, why would you call your town ATCO, right? ATCO.
Why would you call your town Truth and Consequences?
Or intercourse.
Or Bird in
Yeah,
Hand?
listen, but Intercourse is a lot better, though. I have a T-shirt. I love Intercourse.
Intercourse is always better.
It's that part of the day. Oh, I
But
love
again,
it.
ATCO, Atlantic Transport Company out of West Virginia,
Okay.
helped in the actually the New York Ship Company out of. They couldn't find land in New York, so they went down to Camden.
Right. Also known as Nishko.
Correct. And you know where the Patco or the AC rail line goes? Pretty much the West Virginia Rail Company shipped the, I guess you would call it the metal pieces that would go to a naval ship all the way to the Atlantic Ocean and then ship it back up to New York.
Okay.
So it's kind of how we are. So we pay homage to that.
Right.
Pretty easy, pretty simple.
All right.
And then we're building it from there. So.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. So how big is your location? How big is your brewing system? How much do you guys produce?
Our location is 4,200 square feet. We have a 3.5 barrel brew system. Can push it to 4.5, depending on your gravities. Double brewing, grinding.
Right. Yeah.
Looking to upgrade hopefully by the end of this year, but get into a 10 or 15. So.
More importantly, how do you handle the mandatory tour?
There's a mandatory tour.
You're in New Jersey,
I like
right?
that answer.
Well, when you walk into our place, you can see the brewery, so it's.
That kind of covers all bases.
Tour done.
You can't really get in without seeing what's going on.
That's cool.
We're kind of wide open.
Yeah, so our famous line is that if anybody asks you if you did the tour today, say yes, and that's pretty much
That's it.
how we do it.
Yeah, the tour.
I love it. So you brought 2 beers to the table. What should we drink first?
Booby trap.
Booby trap?
Booby
I assume that's this?
No.
That's the piney.
Oh, really?
That's the booby trap
All
right there.
Careful.
Yeah. Well, it's a light Belgian. It's
I was saying careful because it's a booby trap.
I know where you were going. That's kind of refreshing after all those heavy beers we've been drinking all
it's
day.
a very clean, very light. We thought about running it as a double, call it like Double D or something, but
You mean like Double D batteries, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I know there's D batteries.
It
I
is
don't
now.
know.
It is now.
It was the first thing I thought of.
Batteries?
Yeah.
It's not the first thing I thought of.
Well, the first. Never mind. Damn, that's gone.
Sorry. There was like one little sip left, so I figured I had to.
Yeah, well, it drinks very easily. Very
It really
nice.
does.
Went down really nice.
That's
nice and refreshing.
well, booby trap. So the trap is with 2 P's, so it's it's brewed with the monastery ale
Right.
yeast. So it's a Trappist ale.
Right.
And it's our biggest seller outside of the IPAs.
Right.
So it's, we're in the IPA world, of course.
Of
This
course,
is
you
true,
have to
unfortunately.
increases profits automatically.
Yep.
The piney, what you're drinking now, it's got a Pilsner back, Pilsner green back. It's got some biscuit, dry hop Citron, Motica, American ale yeast. It's nice. It's a nice, good drinker.
There's no pine needles in it, but since we're
We've
in
got
the
the-
Pine Barrens,
Right.
we consider it Piney Pale Ale.
Ooh, I like that.
Fair enough.
It's not piney like the tree. It's piney like the person piney that you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No, I really like it. It's very well rounded. You get the biscuity, like you said, but everything else just
It's smooth. It's soft. It's got a soft mouthfeel. Yes.
I almost said smooth. Thank you for saying it for me.
That's Dan's overused word.
It's smooth. It's so smooth, guys. It's so smooth.
It actually is. It's not a misuse of that word. I promise.
It really is. So you said IPAs. Do you guys do a lot of IPAs?
We do.
Yeah.
We didn't bring them here, but we have, 2 staples, 2 of our breadwinners. We have a double IPA called Swellhead, which is our West Coast style.
Right.
And then we also got involved in the juice or the New England.
Of course.
So and we took it a step further where we got all the names involved and we call it Caboose Juice.
Caboose
All right. I like
That's
it.
nice. I appreciate it.
And here's what the nice thing about it is: within the next 2 weeks, we will actually have both of them canned in 16-ounce cans.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So it's a phase 2 of our brewery. We've only been open 2 years.
right.
So,
So will this be your first canning?
Yep.
yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh,
Very
cool.
nice.
Do you have a canning line, or are you doing mobile canning?
No, we bought a line.
You went right in
Went
for
fucking
it.
whole hog,
Might as well, man.
Yeah.
Go all in.
Well, since I'm on time for everything, Dan dragged me here on time. You never know when the beer's going to be done.
Yeah.
Plus our mins, to hit the mins that the mobile guys do, we're a small brewery, so it's tough to hit the mins. So yeah, we went all in, and people love cans. You can't really lose with it. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's true. It's just like it protects the beer from light. It's
Yeah.
easier to drink. It's easier to recycle. You know.
So,
Run it.
do you
I
think
like
the
it.
cans would mostly be sold in house, or are you going to distribute at all?
Well, right. So obviously our goal is to sell it all retail
Right.
from a tap room. But if we need to wholesale it, we will. We'll probably do a big push in the near term to get it out into the market and help draw people in. So we'll see how it goes.
That'd be cool. Well, these beers are great, man. I'm sorry your shirt lied to me. It's it's a thing that
It's
happens.
almost true.
It's almost true. It's like a half lie. It's a half
Close
lie.
enough.
Yeah, but I can't thank you guys enough for coming up here and sharing these with us. They're delicious.
news.
And if anybody, so you're in Adco. You said you're right at what was it, 73 and 30?
Yep.
Where it meets. Okay, cool. I guess I know exactly where that is. So I'm sure I'll be there at some point in the near future.
Nice.
But guys, thank you for coming up to the table, and I hope the rest of the fest treats you guys very well.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool.
Watch out for drunk people.
Yes, watch out for drunks.
Thanks for having us.
Including those behind microphones.
Beware.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
You.
Thanks.
Joining us at the table now is a man who follows the same science that I do, apparently, which is amazing. But we have Kyle, who is from Defiant Brewing. Kyle, how are you?
I am fantastic. How about you, man?
We are doing great up here. It's an awesome festival, and there's just so much happening.
Hey, Dan, can
Everywhere.
Can we call that defiant science?
Defiance.
Defiance.
The
How about
science.
Defiance.
Hey,
Defiance. Science.
The science
Science.
of defiance.
Yeah, just spell it slightly differently. An E instead of an A, and then it's Defiance.
Right. Yeah, have to misspell things or it's not defiant.
Oh, totally.
Except after C.
That rule
Well
is
played,
stupid.
well played.
Yep.
That's true. That is true. So, I gotta ask, how's the fest been treating you?
It's fantastic. This is I believe our 5th year down here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's we're a little bit farther north. We're right on the border of New York and New Jersey, so it's a good excuse for us to come down and hang out in Atlantic City for a weekend. We got 7 strong from the brewery, so running around, behaving to our best abilities. But it's always a great fest. The music's amazing. Pour an insane amount of beer.
I bet.
And and it's also fun to catch up with friends that we don't get to see in South Jersey that often.
Of course.
Don't you feel like as a Jersey brewery, you're kind of obligated to be here? It's kind
Yeah.
of like the Jersey Beer Fest.
Yeah, no, that's if you don't show. Well, it's funny because we technically are in New York, but our parking lot is like a quarter mile into New York, so we're like right there on the border.
Wow.
So like when we talk to the people, are like, "Oh, you're a Jersey brewery," and we're like, "Sure." Yeah, I mean, we
Let's go with
basically
that.
are. But no, it's if you're in like Southern New York or New Jersey, you got to be here. It's a blast. John and the whole crew over at Good Time Tricycle, they know how to put on a party.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I am learning that. This is my first time at this festival, period, overall.
And you're still on your 2 feet. That's impressive.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting currently. It was a struggle. I was saying we had the last guys on from Adco. A friend of mine had a friend who was performing over at the Tonewood stage.
Okay.
Which from us is about 200 feet, and walking was not as easy as I thought it would be.
Right. Yeah. There's by the end of this weekend. This facility for anybody who isn't here is massive.
Oh, it's huge.
And every year I keep saying, "Oh, I got to bring a skateboard," and never remember it. Because
that's a good idea.
You probably walk like 3.5 miles just to go to the bathroom.
Oh, absolutely.
Over the course of the weekend.
We have a secret porta potty.
We found out we have a secret porta potty.
I was introduced to that.
Yes,
I was impressed.
good.
Thank
Good.
you for that.
Well, I'm
It's
glad
amazing.
you could enjoy that porta potty as well.
So let's drink. I hear you brought a Kolsch to the table.
I
wanna
did.
drink
That's
that
actually
first.
what I have in my cup right here, which I believe is this one
Yes.
right here.
Open the coals. Open the coals.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
One of my favorite. Easy drinking,
Yes. Delicious.
crushable. This was the lowest ABV one that we brought with us. It's about 4.2%. It's the lawnmower beer, the one where it's weather's warming up and you want to sip on something for a few hours. This is my go-to.
Yeah, delicious. I think every brewery should have either like a Kolsch or a Pilsner or a
Yep.
Helles. Like everyone needs something.
Well, it's kind of refreshing coming from the brewery perspective of things that people are like coming back to that, like, oh yeah, the respect of a Kolsch and a Pilsner. Because for so many years we've been looking at hopheads, which is a beautiful thing.
Right.
But people are like, oh wait, no, I want something that I actually won't destroy my palate if I drink 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I may have missed it. What is the ABV for this one?
4.2.
4.2.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. So this is the lowest ABV one that we brought with us.
A true session.
Sessionable, crushable,
Yep.
all
exactly.
those good words.
So this, you mentioned lawnmower beer. Do you have any exciting summer releases coming up?
We do. We have a beer that, it's funny, there's been some other iterations of this name that we've seen pop up from other friend breweries and whatnot. We have the end of April, I think the weekend of the 24th, whatever that weekend, 28th, we're releasing our orange cream beer.
Whoa!
And orange cream beer, we've seen some orange cream IPAs and whatnot. It's a classic cream ale with, milk sugar and orange zest and Madagascar vanilla. And it's an homage that we actually intended on brewing the beer to pay homage to the Coors Orange Cream Swirl that you find at the Jersey Boardwalk. So you'll be seeing that pop up at all your favorite Jersey Shore bars, probably starting in May.
Nice, very nice.
Yep.
So I assume you brought a New England IPA.
How'd you know?
Because everybody did.
Yeah, right. And I'm going to assume it's the one you can't see through.
It's the one you can't shine a flashlight through.
Yeah,
it's hashtag hazy.
Hashtag
So yeah, we started. We've been around the block for a little while. We've been around for 13 years.
Wow.
And we were one of the first 3 breweries in the Hudson Valley. It was us, Captain Lawrence, and Keegan Ales.
Wow.
That were kind of like there at the beginning of that all. And so, when you're entering adulthood and that whole thing, people are like, oh, you got to ride the haze train. And so we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll do it eventually. And so we brewed one that we loved, and we called it Fake News. Is it an IPA? Is it not an IPA? It's the whole kind of concept behind it. It's an evolving. The malt base stays very similar, but we change the hops depending upon kind of what we feel. Yeah. The one that you guys are drinking right now is Citra and Huel Melon. The hops that we use in this one.
It's delicious. I can be overly critical of this kind of beer.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one is great. I mean, you have the haziness, so I'm sure it'll make people order it just because of the way it looks.
Just because of the way it looks.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then the flavor is there to really uphold that, which is great. The hoppiness is there. You get the maltiness out of it, and it really is a great beer.
And the one thing that we decided when we decided we were going to start making these styles of beers was that we were going to attenuate them as far as we could, so get them really, really dry.
Right.
There's a lot of them that are on the market there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's just there's some that are a little too sticky sweet.
Yeah,
like
for
kind
sure.
of cloying.
Yeah.
So you finish that 16-ounce can and you don't really want another one.
Right.
With all of these, we get them down to only a degree left Play-Doh, so it's super dry on the finish.
It does finish really nice. Yeah,
and that's one of our goals with this beer is we won't be the sticky sweet New England IPA. It'll always finish super dry.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many of these I've had that just ended the night because I couldn't palate anything else after that.
Yep.
But this one, it finishes dry. It's nice. I like it a lot.
It finishes dry. It doesn't destroy your palate.
Yeah.
But all that nice hop aroma and front of palate's all there.
Yeah.
So are you guys looking to expand soon?
So we just actually finished an expansion. If for anybody who's ever been to Defiant, they called it the hallway. It was like, just straight backed, tall walls. Well, we knocked down walls last year and added about 9,000 square feet of space. So we're about just shy of a 20,000 square foot facility now. We have a full smokehouse built into the brewery. So really, really, really good like Memphis style dry rub smokehouse. Everything's cooked in the smoker. We don't have a cooktop.
Yes.
It's like our cornbread made in the smoker.
Oh.
So we do that. Our pitmaster is here pouring today. It's his first beer fest. He's got it because he always has to be in the pit on the weekends. So we have that. So we have a 4,000 square foot beer hall at the brewery. So we can fit a good 300 people there. And the production facility as well. So we just literally finished all that construction on that now. So you see a lot more product kind of flowing down this way too, down in South Jersey.
That's awesome. Nice. I want to try some of the food. I need to get there. I
didn't bring any of our ribs with us. I apologize.
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right.
But
you brought beer, so it's all
yes.
good.
Yeah, so I always show with beer. There you go. So yeah, you're going to the Belgian Triple next, which is one of my personal favorites. It's a heritage yeast that our owner and brewmaster Neil has been brewing for 22 years professionally.
Oh wow!
So he's got an immense amount of knowledge and knows his yeast quite well. So this is one that we've used in this beer since we opened. 9% alcohol. You get kind of that Belgian candied sugar character to it. That's right there. Nice little banana note. It's everything you want in a triple. We try to keep it as close to a classic Belgian style triple as possible. There's a lot of American triples that are out that are hoppy.
Right.
Yeah.
But we try to go as classic as possible with this one.
I don't know if I'm imagining this, but I feel like I'm getting cherry a little bit out of it.
I've noticed that over the course of the years as well, and I think it's just the yeast that we use. Obviously, there's no cherries being used, but yeah, you get almost all that like cherry,
just a little,
and it's more of like the tannin character of the cherry.
Yeah.
You know,
that is great. Oh my god, that's so
It is
good.
really nice. Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, there's another beer.
Another one. Another beer has appeared.
So you guys started at 4.2. The New England IPA, the fake news, was 7.5. That was 9. This is
Coming back down,
12.5.
Oh my god.
So this is a beer that we call Magnus Pango. It basically translates in Latin as Big Hammer.
I like that.
So it went into bourbon barrels at about 11.9% alcohol. We got a fresh dump bourbon barrels from our friends at Black Dirt Distillery. They're up in Warwick in the Hudson Valley. They're a sister company of Doc's Hard Cider. So they gave us a bunch of bourbon barrels, and we had just finished making a barley wine. So we're like, what do we do with this? So we took, I think it was 4 or 5 of the barrels, filled them up with our barley wine, and it sat in our cellar for 16 months. And soaked up a lot of that nice oak, vanilla.
It's a big beer.
It's a big beer.
I really
That's a
promise
big
I'm not
beer.
also high on top of drunk. But when I took a whiff of this, I felt it in my eyes.
You felt it in your eyes.
Can I quote that? I want to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
I
you
felt
should.
this in my
I
eyes.
felt
Please
it in my eyes. This is
I haven't taken a sip yet, but it's oh my god, it smells incredible and
yeah, there's a lot of that bourbon character really shines through. It spent a lot of time in those barrels.
Oh my god,
this is not one of those really high ABV beers where you're like, oh, I did it. You wouldn't even know. You would know. You know.
Yeah, no, you know.
As soon as you smell it, you know.
You drink. You're like,
she said it's what, like
oh.
12%ish?
So
11, 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went into the barrel at like 11.9%.
Okay.
I believe is what the official was. They're fresh dump, wet barrels with probably about a half gallon of fluid in each of the barrel as well.
Jeez.
So it soaked up a lot of that through it. But it's got that right up front. But then it finishes definitely a barley wine. You get a lot of that bourbon's way up front in the front of the palate.
There's bourbony, the bourbony character, sweetness, and then it's almost gone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's again a dangerous 13% beer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not finishing that.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. It's really
I
good.
want to
though.
remember the rest of
It's
today.
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
true. That's true.
All right, one more sip.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's already like midnight, right?
Oh, sure.
No, it's
It feels like it.
midnight somewhere.
It's not even 3 p.m.
It feels like we've been doing this for 2 days.
How are we going to make
Holy
it?
shit. Holy shit.
Honestly impressed that you guys, the amount of beer that you guys probably drink at this table alone is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our dump bucket is not that full. I
No.
feel like we need to be
That's
dumping.
the problem.
We probably
That is
should.
the absolute problem.
Yeah, you got about a pint in your dump bucket.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of practice at this.
Yeah. So does Defiant distribute at
Yes,
all?
good question. So yes, we do. We in the state of New York self-distribute. So we have our own trucks and driving team, the whole nine. But in New Jersey, we are with our good friends Kohler Distributing Company, and we're actually reopening our central and central south area with Shore Point distributors as of
cool.
actually next week.
Yeah.
So you'll see we've had our stuff kind of come and go, but we'll be seeing a lot of it this summer.
Any plans for wider expansion on that front?
Yeah, there is. Wink, wink, nod, nod. There'll be a lot more beer in New Jersey.
What about
coming soon.
Philly?
Philly I want to go to Philly so bad. I love the town. I love drinking there. So that's a big push. That once we kind of fully get everything covered in New Jersey, you'll be seeing us in Philly next.
All right, good. I can't wait for that. Wayne and I live in South Philly, so
There
this
you
will
go.
be perfect.
Well,
It's great.
I'll have to come over and hang out for a beer then.
Do you live in Philly as well?
No,
Or-
I don't.
Oh, okay.
But I'll drive down there.
All right,
It's-
do it, man.
It's a great town.
There's a lot
It
of
is.
good drinking spots around
Definitely
there.
is, yeah.
Or at the very least, we could come up to northern Jersey / southern New York and hopefully record a podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
There are
Come over anytime.
shit ton of awesome breweries up there.
There really are. I mean, like the Hudson Valley, we love being in the Hudson Valley, and it's used to be a little lonely. You know, there's only a few of us.
Yeah.
Now I think there's 39 breweries in the Hudson Valley proper.
God, that's nuts.
And it's an amazing community, great brewers. It's a family up there, and it's world class. You got everywhere from guys like Suarez doing incredible like barrel aged pilsners, to Plan B doing sours, to like Equilibrium doing amazing
Sloop.
New England IPAs. Sloop, who is here,
Yeah.
good friends from Sloop.
Yeah, Hudson Valley, they're doing
Yep.
fun sour IPAs
Yep.
that are just
so it's
amazing.
it's a lot of fun up in that area. Anybody who has not come to the Hudson Valley to hang out and drink beer has to.
and there's a lot of great history up there too.
Yeah, there really is.
You don't have to drink all day.
In our county, one of our favorite accounts, the 76 House. The parking lot is where Benedict Arnold was hung.
Oh,
No
shit.
way!
Really?
That's like,
shit.
yeah.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's cool.
And they
Pretty
call it
awesome.
the 76 House because it's the bar that Washington used to hang out at and drink.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool.
And that's
Now
in
I-
our own county.
Kyle, I don't know
Yes.
whether to say thank you or I'm sorry. But
This is what AC Beer Fest is all about.
That is
Right.
absolutely
That's
right.
right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
Kyle, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for chatting with me, guys.
Of course.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. There are two types of people in this world.
Those that can extract from. Never mind.
No. Halloween people and Christmas people. And of course, I'm going to call you Christmas Mike from now on.
That's fine.
Christmas Mike from Broken Goblet. How are you, my
And if
friend?
you don't get the reference, listen to episode
Yes.
101.
Go way back and listen to that episode. But how are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Thank you for coming up to the table.
Thanks for having us.
How's the fest been treating you guys so far?
Well, I had to come and reset up this morning, and then I had to go back and sleep because we got in about 5 a.m. last night.
Oh, Jesus.
And 10 a.m. came really early this morning.
It's
So
okay.
I'm hurting.
We got in around like 12:30, and 10 a.m. still showed up pretty early.
No, I think we went into bed about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Nah, it was about 1.
Really? And I got up at 7.
I texted Bart.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
There's evidence.
Here comes proof.
Here's the
breaking out
evidence.
the record.
If my phone would actually unlock.
I think I'm accounting for the hour it took me to fall asleep.
Yeah, it was probably about 1. I texted Bart at 12:55.
So yeah, it was a very early morning, and it's a long day, as you guys know. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's a fun day.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So far, this is my first time here at this event period, and I'm really enjoying this. It's so cool here.
First time for all of you, or just you?
Just
No,
me.
we've been here
we were
before.
You
here
guys
before.
have been here before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely first time as recording a podcast.
Yeah, it's our first
though.
time recording here, but
Yeah.
last time we were here, I lost my voice, and I fear that might be happening again.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm feeling the
Just a
scratch.
little bit. So, Broken Goblets had some a lot of publicity lately, especially
Yeah.
after the Eagles won
Yeah.
the Super Bowl. So, what's the story behind that?
I mean, to keep, without going into a ton of detail, just so that I don't bore anybody, we got connected with Jason Kelsey. Kelsey connected us with Connor Barwin, and Connor Barwin's Make the World Better Foundation, which is his charity in Philly, and gave us the pretty exclusive permission to use his likeness for the beer and for merchandise around the beer, provided that we gave a pretty healthy chunk to the charity, which of course we were good with. And then when we released the beer, he and Connor Barwin came to the brewery. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know they were going to do what they did, which was spend 2 hours shaking everybody's hand, signing cans, taking pictures. It was really quite
awesome,
astonishing how nice they were to everybody.
Yeah.
And it really made for an unbelievably positive feeling leaving that event for all the people that waited in line for like 5 hours. And then he has just been really active with me to when the next brew is going to be and how we can grow this a little bit more than just a couple releases in off season for the Eagles.
So, how much does this mess with your mind a little bit that you are working that close with a Super Bowl winning athlete?
Well, so I've tried to not be a fangirl about the whole thing, but it is funny that like when he first called me, I thought it was somebody else on an Ohio number. A Cleveland number came up, and I thought it was a client that I had for my day job. So I let it go to voicemail, and then like so on the new iPhones, it does a transcription of the voicemail sometimes,
right.
but it's always all kind of jacked up.
Yeah.
So I look at the thing, and the first word is, "Hey, bud, it's Kelly." And I'm like, "Hey, bud, it's Kelly." And then there's, garble, 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 wanted to talk to you about the beer. And I was like, oh, my God. That's not Kelly? So then I listened to it, and it's like, "Hey, bud, it's Kelsey." And so I told him, I don't even want to put your number in my phone because I'm afraid that somehow I'll leave my phone somewhere, or I'll get this bad idea at 4 a.m. at Atlantic City Beer Festival to call you.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, and he's called me, several times, and it's been surreal because here I am, sort of setting stuff up with Jason Kelsey, who is pretty much right below Rocky now in Philadelphia.
Without a doubt.
That's the best character ever.
It's kind of a shame because was it Chase Utley after they won
Yes,
the
yes.
yeah, world fucking champions, and now that's just
Kelsey's
gone.
like,
Nobody
hold
remembers
my beer,
it. Yeah.
and then I'm
hold my beer. We're gonna sing a song about this.
Yep, yeah. That's exactly the thought that went through my mind when the speech was occurring. I'm texting and how it happened so fast, and I said, "Holy shit!" He just Chase Utley for and now no one's going to remember the Phillies one. Now everybody's going to remember this one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Were you at the parade?
No, we let the staff. Well, and the truth of the story is, if we had gone, none of this would have happened. But I was sitting at home on my computer while the speech was happening.
Oh wow!
And as soon as he got up and he started, I texted the owners, and by the speech hadn't even finished, and I texted the artist and I said, "Listen, I need you to draw this thing, but I need it to be done by like 9 o'clock tonight." And he's like, I can't do that. I'm at work, and I don't have, and I said, "I'll pay you double." And he's like, "All right, I'll figure it out." So if I had been at the parade, I don't think I would have put it all together fast
Oh my
enough.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's pretty cool.
I wound up at the museum for that, and as soon as he came up, I didn't know that he was going to be that outspoken.
Yeah.
But holy shit.
Yeah, he told me when he came to the brewery, I didn't want to ask him a lot of questions about it because I didn't want to be that guy.
Right.
But I did ask him. I said, "How much of that was scripted?" And he said, they told me that I had like 50 seconds to a minute was my length of time. That pretty much everybody sort of sat in that time period. He said, but I had drank a lot that day. And he said, when I got up there, I just sort of forgot what I was going to say. He said, I was going to say something about Howie Roseman. I was going to say something about Nick Foles and like how we're disrespected. And then he said, I just got up there and the emotion got me, and he launched into that 4.5 minute speech that will never be forgotten by any Eagles fan ever.
I feel bad for the networks that covered it and how many bleeps they had to put in.
They just cut the audio completely. So when I was watching it, and he started cursing, they weren't delaying. They just cut like 10 seconds of audio. So I'm like, motherfucker, something's wrong with my computer. Something's wrong with the audio. And then when he got to the song, they cut it completely.
Oh.
So it was only after you go on YouTube, and I found it a couple minutes later. Somebody had already posted
and then it made sense.
Yeah, then I'm like, oh, now I understand what everybody's freaking out about. So
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's so cool that you happen to have that, and that the condition of it was giving a good chunk of the money to charity.
Yeah.
That is so cool that would happen.
It's a great charity, and the charity was immediately on board with it and immediately wanted to talk about it. And just having Kelsey and Barwin tweet about stuff, it's just, again, I was like, this is surreal. I can't believe this is happening. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Is that one of the beers that you brought with?
No, if I had a drop of it, it would have been great. No, I don't.
All right.
I didn't. Not even the owners. None of us got it.
Oh,
none of us got it because we were because there. When there was 1,000 people in line, it was all the way. I mean, you guys have been to our place. It was all the way out and all the way to the end of our industrial park, which is, I don't know how far that is, a quarter mile down. And so we had people working the line to say, you're not going to get it. I don't think you're definitely not going to get it. Right. You might get it, and offering to have them come in and drink, because we had it on draft too. So we said, why don't you can come out of line, you're not going to get it. But they were just in case. They thought just in case. And then Kelsey and Barwin went down the line and shook every person's hand and would not leave until every person had gotten at least to shake their hand or take a picture or whatever.
That's so cool. That's so refreshing to hear. And working in radio over the years, I've met a bunch of Eagles players, and I'm sure this is true across the board at most NFL teams, if not all. They were so gracious to every single one of their fans. It's refreshing to hear that goes with these guys too.
It does, yeah. So we had pulled beers, and then we just put them right back in we had pulled beers for ownership and staff.
Right.
We're like, let's just sell them. Let's just sell
that's,
it. So.
That's a nice sacrifice you've made. Well, what beers did you bring
Yeah, I
to
was
the
going to
festival?
say, can we drink now?
Yeah.
Now that Steph's done hearing about the Eagles winning.
We brought 2 variants of our tea bag. We brought the new 2018, which just came out yesterday, actually, which is done with a tea called Bohemian Raspberry, which is like raspberry, apple, hibiscus. It's green tea based. And then we brought our sour tea bag, which is last year's plum that was aged in a Shiraz barrel with plums and then soured. And then we brought Escorted from the Building, which is an Imperial Red. And then we brought a West Coast style IPA that's called Gyroscopes and Infrared.
So what should we start with?
Well, I would probably start with the base tea bag, the regular tea bag.
Seems about right.
I would say that's probably this one, yes.
I have very fond memories of when we were there for many reasons.
Of teabagging?
Of teabagging, of course. But no, the fact that these beers turn out so well with tea bags and tea infusions is just phenomenal.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of how we do it, and that we've been walking around here trying some other people's tea beers, and we're pretty happy where we stand in terms of the flavoring. I think it's not the easiest beer to make, but it's also not the cheapest beer. But it's nice to have something a little bit different.
You guys are kind of like the OG tea beers, though.
I think so.
Because you've been doing it for a while, and I don't know that anyone else was really on board with that.
It all comes down, I think, to how you select the tea. I mean, for those people that actually are familiar with teas, green teas, black teas, if you just put Earl Grey in a beer, it's not gonna taste good. It's just not. And so you have to select teas that have good complementary fruit backing to them, and that's why we selected the teas that we do. But it's tough because the teas go out of business. Or, I mean, the tea company could go out of business if it's too small, or they can't make enough of it. Or like with Teavana, they kept retiring teas, the ones that we wanted to use. So it was a pain in the ass.
Well, so what do you guys do at this point now that Teavana is owned by Starbucks and there's no actual Teavana stores anymore?
Yeah, we're not using Teavana anymore.
Really?
So we went from Teavana to a company called Upton out of the UK. And then this year, a friend of mine from the metal world, he was a photographer. He just opened a tea company called Brutalities, and so we do and because of that, it's so small and artisanal. We were able to get in on sort of the process of him making the tea. So Bubba could say, I want a little more raspberry, I want a little less apple, whereas Teavana would have been like, cool,
just take what you get, kind of deal.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So
makes sense that they're owned by Starbucks then.
Yeah, we lucked out in that regard, and the tea it's been very nice.
That's cool. That's awesome. Is that
This is the
sour one?
Oh, is that the sour one? Sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just yelling at them for not passing it to me.
Sorry.
I was trying to subtly figure out a way to make sure my microphone was working again without being like, "Hey, is my microphone working?"
Hi guys, is this working?
Hi guys. Oh, here we go.
I have that somewhere.
Hi guys. Oh wow, you guys got soundboard and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing.
Lawyered.
Oh wow. This is a way more high tech podcast than I thought I'm giving you credit for. I thought it was just 3 of you talking, but now you got a soundboard.
No, we got a whole thing.
So
this is very
sticky.
cool.
I don't know if I have any from when we were there.
Isn't Paul? I thought Paul was on there somewhere.
I might not have added it to the new iPad. We can look.
Oh, here we go. It's a whole thing.
I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sorry.
I know, right?
I'm sorry.
I know, look what you started.
I'm sorry.
It's a whole tangent now.
All right, I'm drinking more beer.
Yeah, let's drink more beer.
So this is the IPA, I assume?
Yeah.
He's on here, but from before.
Honestly, Divorce is my favorite.
Honestly, Divorce is my favorite.
Divorce?
Yeah. It's when he was doing the Dabbler thing with Ken.
Oh.
That was one of their beers when they were on the show.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What an ironic statement. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
No. Not in that regard. But just Dabbler not being Dabbler anymore. Those kinds of guys going separate ways is more what I meant. No. Yeah. No. Ashley and Paul are happily married.
Good.
And are
Good.
wonderful.
They're great.
Are wonderful. They helped us at the Kelsey thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. They are very good people, and he's a heck of a brewer.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. He's really good at like experimental, like coming up with weird ideas and then making it work in ways you wouldn't think it would.
We have our beer club, the Irregulars. One of the perks is that they have beers in the back that they can drink that no one else can. And Paul is predominantly responsible for brewing those beers and the variants of them. So he'll brew a batch and then flavor 8 different cornies with whatever he wants. And people love it, and it gives everybody almost daily a new beer to try.
We probably mentioned this when we were there, and I apologize because it was a while ago, and I've had a lot to drink since then. What does it take to be an Irregular?
It's money. It's a money.
So I am flat out.
Just like the answer to everything. What does it take to money?
It's a money thing, but it's it goes pretty fast. We have 250 of them, and they join kind of December to January. And it's money, but you end up getting more than we look at it as we're taking a loan out on our patrons because it's the truth. Because it's not a club where it's a moneymaker for us. It's really they end up getting more back than they spend.
Right.
But for us, it's a nice infusion of capital right at the end of the year, the beginning of the following year, and so
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And don't they? Isn't it like if I remember right, a bottle a month kind of deal, and like every discount on pours?
Yeah, it's been different kind of every year. Last year we did more bottles. This year, because of the moving to the new place, they're going to get us all expenses paid soft opening. So
that's so cool.
Which is probably a good $50 each just for that with food. And then they get discounts on pours. They get discounts on crowlers. And they get, we throw party, like the tea bag. We have a big party before the tea bag comes out.
So you teabag them. Gotcha.
Yes, we do.
We have a big party before the tea bag comes out.
We have a pre-teabagging teabagging thing.
The teabag ceremony.
And then they come, and it's all free for them. So they get an awful lot at it. But they're our hyper loyal fans.
Yeah.
So it's worth it to us to do do stuff for them.
Of course.
So when do you expect the new location to open?
Well, the snow has just been an asshole this year.
Man.
So
it won't stop. It is freaking March.
I think it's going to be June now because we got set back at least a month and a half.
There definitely won't be any snow then.
Yeah.
You never know.
Our equipment's all coming on Monday, actually. So this is a long weekend into a long day on Monday. But it's been delayed like 4 weeks because of the snow for transit. So the snow has sucked, but I would say June.
Very cool. We look forward to it.
I think it's going to be June.
We'll have to come out then, maybe in the fall, and record
we would
there
love,
again.
love that.
Check out the new space. That would be a lot of fun.
There'll be a lot more room.
Yeah. Well, Christmas, Mike. Good to see you.
You
Thanks
as well.
for being great.
Thank you, guys.
Anyway, we should come at Christmas time, or come at Halloween, and you can decorate for Christmas.
It would be funny to come at Halloween as I'm tearing down skulls and putting up Christmas shit.
I don't know. Come November 1st.
I don't know if I asked this when we were there. If it's Halloween versus Christmas, is there like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of team up?
We haven't done that, but I mean, it's more. We just think it's funny to try to tear Halloween down as fast as possible to try to get Christmas up.
I will level with you. I hate Halloween.
I mean, I like them both. I just really like Christmas more than Halloween.
Yeah.
So, but hey, thanks guys for having us.
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
If ever I wanted to foster a collaboration between Beer Busters guests, there is no time like right now, and I will get to that in a second.
We talked about that last night.
We did.
Not on the show, did we?
No.
That's what I thought.
Just
All right.
walking around.
Yeah, just walking around. Well, we have joining us from Tomfoolery Brewing, we have Gail and Sean. Well, first, how are you guys doing tonight?
Wonderful. Fantastic, yes.
Today, it's still day, sorry, but it's good to hear you guys doing well.
It feels like night already.
It does feel like we've been drinking for a long fucking time.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you for coming up to the table, and I'm so happy to have you guys up here because as we were walking through, as Steph had said, we had mentioned last night that your brewery's name was on the tip of our tongues because, and I'm sure somewhere along the way somebody has probably filled you guys in on this, there is a brewery in Allentown called Hijinks, and their slogan is tomfoolery in every pint.
Okay.
So I feel like we could do a long distance collab with you guys. Have you guys been turned on to them before? Has anybody told you along the way?
No.
Am I the first?
Myself, I haven't heard of them. I don't know if Sean has.
Have you, Sean?
I've heard of Hijinks,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I didn't know that was their slogan.
Yes, it is. It is. Well, we'll leave them to the side because we've had them on the show a couple of times before, and of course we want to know about you guys. Where's Tomfoolery located?
We're in Hamilton, New Jersey.
Okay.
So from where we are now at Atlantic City Beer Fest, if you take the expressway, we're midway between Atlantic City and Philadelphia.
Yes.
Exit
Oh,
28.
nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right off the expressway.
Very nice.
Very cool. Well,
So are you near Vinyl Brewing?
We are very near.
Okay, very cool. Because I know Vinyl Brewing, they advertise as being the halfway point between. Excellent.
well, how's the fest been treating you guys so far?
Oh, so far so good. It was a little slow last night, but today has been very busy.
For sure.
Yeah, today's been kind of nuts.
Yeah,
so
I
far.
kind of feel like Saturday is the big day, and we're not even at. I mean, tonight's session's going to be
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the insanity.
yeah. As of right now, there's 42 minutes left in this session. God have mercy on all of us.
How long has Tomfoolery been around?
About 2.5 years we've been open. So we were in the space almost a year before that, just preparing and getting everything ready. So, but we've been open almost 2.5 years. Had our 2-year anniversary a number of months ago. That went over really well.
Awesome.
Very cool, very cool. And do you guys have any experience like working at other breweries, home brewing? Where did the idea to come up with this brewery come from?
Yeah, so I started home brewing, probably about 12 years ago at this point. Because, back then there weren't a whole lot of beers out. Started home brewing, got to know a lot of people. I was driving, there was really no homebrew supply shop in the area, so I was driving up to Freehold, New Jersey, to Brewer's Apprentice to get my supplies, and I thought, geez, this is a long trip.
Yeah.
So, and I knew a lot of people, so I actually opened a homebrew shop for 4 years between 2010 and 2014 in Egg Harbor City. So had a lot of people come there, and I was like, I get my own supplies, right, because I have my own store.
Nice.
So homebrewed. And then, it was all about education for me. I came from Pennsylvania, so grew up around Philly.
Yes.
Lot of good beer in Philly, good food, good drink.
Hell yeah.
Came to South Jersey, and I was
Good
like, where am I going to go to
good
eat and drink?
podcasts.
Yeah, right, awesome. And so I thought, let's educate everybody. Let's get in here and bring some good beer to the area. So I started a homebrew club. After the homebrew store, I opened I started a homebrew club. That's what's next, Brew Jersey, in Atlantic County. That still goes today. It started with a couple of guys around a card table in my garage, and now it's grown. There's officers, members, paid dues and things like that. And the next logical step was a brewery. So we closed the store and opened up the brewery.
That's
Very
pretty
cool.
I don't know that I've ever we haven't encountered a brewery that grew out of a homebrew shop before. I don't think there's a lot of breweries that are going
Maybe not
hand in
directly.
hand but somebody's opened a homebrew shop and then said eventually
Right.
open a brewery. That's a pretty cool story. I like that trajectory.
Yeah, it goes back. Actually, there are a couple in Sierra Nevada. Ken Grossman, he was
okay,
into
yeah.
that. And out in California, it's interesting because Ballast Point, their brewery is in their homebrew
Brew
shop,
shop,
part of
right,
their brewery,
right,
which
yeah.
is, I went out there, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I want to do this too.
Yes, right, exactly.
But not in New Jersey.
Yeah. So I'm already drinking the Kolsch.
Yeah, let's talk.
Of course you are. It's a Kolsch. You're
Blood
going right for
orange
it.
Kolsch.
Really? That sounds awesome.
Tell us a little bit about the Kolsch.
So, Kolsch is actually a style not a lot of people even know about. Light, easy drinking German beer. So we decided to add blood orange. A lot of people today, a lot of beer drinkers are looking for a little fruit, a little citrus tang.
Yeah.
So we added the blood oranges in there, give that nice clean Kolsch a little tang, a little twang with the blood orange. Just a nice, smooth, easy drinking, low ABV beer.
Can I be bold for a second?
Of course.
I think that's a perfect beer.
Oh,
Thank
It
you.
is. It is phenomenal. The blood orange hits the citrus. The Kolsch just kind of rounds it all out. It's easy drinking. It's light. It's crisp, and it finishes very clean. Wow!
High praise.
Wow!
High praise.
It's really
Wow! I'm normally more a fan of the heavier and dark beers, but geez, this is phenomenal, guys. That's well done.
Thanks.
Wow, you woke Dan up.
I know, right?
There's no caffeine in it, honest.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know. I take
You've
back
had
my
enough
perfect
coffee.
comment.
Yeah.
No, this is great. This is absolutely phenomenal. I am boggled at how well this works. That's amazing.
So how
good.
do you add the blood orange?
So we add it as a puree. It's a craft puree, high quality. Everything starts with the great quality ingredients right up front. So we don't use any flavor syrups or anything. So fresh blood orange puree.
Should we do the double next, do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go with the double. I'm excited for the mocha stout, so let's save that for last.
Actually, it's Muka Stout.
Is it
Muka.
Mocha?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it
Oh,
is
moo.
Muka. I just glanced at it. You're right. It is Muka.
He's talking, so you get the double first.
I was talking for 10 seconds, and now I lost my beer. What the hell? This is what we do. It's
That's
a
what
podcast.
happens.
We talk.
I know, but usually I try to take the first sip and then I pass it to which one of you is not talking.
Fair enough. That makes good.
There we go. So this one's a double? Is that what I've been led to understand?
It's a Belgian double. Yep.
Belgian double. I like this one too.
It's got a complex character. It's malty, a little bit sweeter, than the Kolsch, obviously, and a little bit of just a little nose of banana, a little bit of the dark fruit.
And I don't know if it's because I said mocha and then muka, but I'm getting like very subtle bit of coffee, which is unusual for a double. Maybe I'm just
That
crazy.
could be in your head.
I think that's in your head.
It might be in my head.
I could be wrong. Is there anything in there to hold him up?
No.
Maybe one of the dark malts, but I
It
highly
could be
doubt it.
just some of the dark grains,
Yeah.
the dried fruits.
It's
you don't have to
delicious.
justify it. You can just call me an idiot. That's fine. That's
So
fine.
let's talk about this Muka.
Muka.
All right. Yep. It is Muka. Yeah.
So it is Muka. We call it Muka, but it doesn't have any lactose in it. I'm lactose intolerant, so none of our beers have lactose.
Oh,
in
wow.
them. So, but anyway, we do add maltodextrin instead, to give it that stout, that nice mouthfeel we're talking about. Yep. And that we use the Belgian dark chocolate like you get for the pastry, little discs. And we also roast our own coffee beans, and then we grind them ourselves and cold brew them. And that's what goes into the beer.
Is there roasted malts in this? It has a roasty.
Yes.
It does.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that stout, the roasted malts that would belong in a stout.
I'm glad that I saved myself from saying there was a coffee note in the last one by having that correct. But no, that was like one of the first things that stuck out to me. Is it had that nice meaty smokiness to it, and then the coffee rounds it out really
It's
nicely.
not over the top with it either. That's the beauty
No,
of
it's
it.
just it's a like, nice subtle smokiness.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So that's how a lot of our beers, the Kolsch, we pride ourselves in nice, clean, crisp beers where flavors pop, and we don't like to go over the top. I don't like stuff that sort of punches you in the face too much. I like you taste the base style there, and you get some other subtle nuances of other flavors.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have to ask at this point, where did the name Tomfoolery come from?
So Sean here is a microbiologist. I'm an electrical engineer. We're nerds to the core.
Oh, my God.
So we needed to find a place where people could come and have a good time and not feel, stuffy.
Right.
So we wanted a nice, lighthearted name, and that's where Tomfoolery came from.
So how did you end up with those career paths opening a brewery?
Well, a microbiologist makes perfect sense.
microbiologist, yes, but electrical engineer.
Electrical engineer makes perfect sense.
I mean, you have to.
Because
you've got to obviously, there's a lot of heavy duty equipment that has to be there, and it's connected to electronic.
Yeah, much like podcasts, brewing beer requires electricity.
That is very true. I'm just so intrigued whenever this happens, especially with the beers are so good. But how does that turn into a brewery with those two backgrounds?
So I had I have the microbiology, biochemistry background. So, the yeast, the recipes, the ingredients, and then, I need some way to move beer. So Gail's an electrical engineer, but really, she's an engineer, so she knows how to put things together.
Right.
So,
makes sense.
I'm like, I can. So, but we'll go back to when I homebrewed. Gail came into the homebrew scene. She's an engineer, intelligent. So first time we brew, she's like, I got this, but I can't lift 5-gallon coolers over my head. So then she started, I'm like, well, figure it out. So then we got pumps and tubing and stuff.
And then she built a robot to carry the,
exactly,
the whole
right.
thing.
So the engineering is the process part. So I've got sort of the science for the recipe and the ingredients, and then she brings the processes. How do we move large amounts of liquid from one tank to another, for example?
Very nice. Very nice. Now, do you guys do any packaging or distribution at this point?
We do. We have both bottling and canning lines in-house.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And we do package a number of our products.
And how far do you guys distribute?
Still just in New
Like
Jersey,
local?
but we're kind of outside local. We're local, but also outside local as well.
Right.
We're all over New Jersey.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
We're from Jersey City to Cape May.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. That's good.
It's a good range.
span. Yeah.
Any plans to go slightly west over the border?
Yes.
Maybe into
Yes.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're working on it. We actually had some people approach us here tonight looking for some beer in Philly. So
Oh, cool. Very cool.
I think that applies to both of us. We are in Philly and looking for said beer, of course.
yes, we'll see what we can bring you guys.
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
great. These beers were fantastic. not to go on too much about it, that blood orange Kolsch. Oh my god!
I've never heard Dan rant so much about a Kolsch.
I know.
It's like totally not your style at all.
This is so good. If
it's not aged in a bourbon barrel, it's not black.
The occupational hazard is it takes a lot to get me drunk, so normally I gravitate towards the higher ABV beers. But this, oh my god, it's such a good, refreshing, light-ish beer. And holy crap.
And as you guys know, I mean, we do some of that too. You know, the bourbon barrel aged. We had last year a couple of bourbon barrel aged beers, and we just talked to someone earlier this afternoon that opened one from last year, and he said he had it with a cigar, and it was amazing.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So we run the gamut, right, from the light beers all the way to the dark, everything in between. We like to have variety.
This is great. This is absolutely great. I can't thank you guys enough for coming up to the table and bringing these with you.
And hey, I just realized you guys didn't bring an IPA.
Correct,
we did not.
That might be a first.
Bravo.
I know.
Bravo.
And I have to tell you, the Blood Orange Kolsch is in cans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a perfect can beer. Absolutely.
Actually, yeah, it makes sense that it would be in cans. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Gail and Sean, thank you so much for coming up here, guys.
Oh, thanks for having us.
I hope the last session of the fest treats you guys very well, and I will try to send as many people as I can to you for this Blood Orange Kolsch.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Awesome.
you. All right.
Thank you,
Cheers,
guys. Cheers. We've made it. The doors are open for the third and final session here at the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival.
Yay!
And we're starting off this session strong because we have Chuck coming up to the table from Death of the Fox Brewing. Chuck, how are you?
What up? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for coming up to the table.
Oh, love it.
So, literally right before we started recording this part, you had said that you have boundless and endless energy pretty much. And I am so jealous. Can I, have some of that energy right now?
Well, when you own a brewery and you have to, you're brewing the beer, but you're also doing the marketing, and you're also, and for us, we're open 7 days a week. Oof. So, we're a coffee house. We're the first coffee house brewery in the state.
That's awesome.
So, we're open much more than
I get the shirt now.
coffee and
Coffee
beer.
and
Coffee
beer.
and beer.
Coffee-
That's where your energy
Coffee
comes from.
and beer.
That
Yes.
shit straight up, speaks
It's
to me.
totally my energy comes from caffeine.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
Nice. Well, how's the fest been treating you so far?
It's been great.
Good.
The response has been pretty overwhelming. It's our first one, but I think we're coming out pretty strong.
How long have you guys been open?
8 months.
8 months. Wow. So yeah, you're still pretty fresh out the gate.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. So which came first, the coffee or the beer, or both at the same time?
Oh, both at the same time.
Yeah?
Always.
Nice.
Always. Very. So the story is, I before opening the brewery, I was a consultant. I traveled all over I was with Price Waterhouse, and before that KPMG. Did a lot of corporate, the corporate song and dance, and now I am very proudly anti-corporate. But you know what? It was a great experience to be able to do that, and it exposed me to many different regions in this awesome country that we have, and especially West Coast. So Portland, San Francisco, Colorado. And I just saw how amazing and innovative and disruptive all of these other some of these brewery and these concepts were, and I needed to bring that back to Jersey.
Yeah.
So that's basically, that was the inspiration. I wanted to bring a little bit of a West Coast thing to East Coast. So I like to say, Biggie meets Tupac.
I like it. Biggie meets Tupac.
Yeah.
Now, where in Jersey are you guys located?
So we're located in Gloucester County.
Okay.
So we're about 15 minutes outside Philly.
Yep.
So south of West Stepford, north of Mullica Hill.
All right.
Exit 2, Turnpike.
There we go. Getting
Can't miss
specific with it.
That was like a commercial. I love it.
Pretty much.
Like a used car commercial.
You can
Come
tell
on
he's-
down, exit 2 up the turnpike.
He's done this before.
Yeah, once or twice.
A little bit.
So coming into specifically like coffee and beer, were those industries or hobbies that you had before? Were you home brewing? Were you super into coffee?
I was home brewing for 10 years.
Okay.
And then I started a home brewing club, which has probably 40 or 50 members now. About 5 years ago, a lot of my assistant brewers are from that club. And coffee has always been, ever since I went to Seattle in the mid 90s. I just loved not the product necessarily, because I love the product, don't get me wrong, but the experience of a coffee house. the experience of a really good coffee house is what I wanted to bring. And I said I wanted to do that, but also, you know what? When noon comes around, open up the fucking taps.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So
Right.
you open like morning to late night?
7 days a week. 7 days a week. So Monday and Tuesday we're open from 7 till 2, but Wednesday through Saturday 8 till 10.
Oh, wow.
8 a.m. through 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long
and
day.
Sunday, Sundays are always grateful Sundays.
That kind of makes sense because at the beginning of the week you need the coffee earlier and the drinks later.
Yeah.
So it works out. I like that.
And Sundays we close at 6 and we play Grateful Dead all day.
There you go.
We do.
So I know you
what we do.
If you wanted to bring the feel of a good coffee house, what do you define as a good coffee house?
What I define as a good coffee house is the sensory experience that you have.
Okay.
All 5 senses: smell, taste,
right,
sound,
okay, hence the Grateful
feel,
Dead.
touch.
Yeah.
All of those things make a great experience. Think about that. So,
Well, what about like to the touch? How does that factor in? I don't think I've ever thought about what I feel somewhere.
All right. I will tell you that a really nice ceramic mug that's hot really feels good in the morning.
You know what? Yeah.
See
It's
that.
like the extra warmth transferring into your body. I can see that.
And just, and then the touch and feel that you have in terms of actually, like, we have people we have beans and malt next to each other so they can actually touch it and
Oh, yeah.
nice.
That's cool.
Put their hands in
Sort
it.
of the raw
That's cool.
ingredient experience. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty
Again,
cool.
sensory experience.
Yeah, definitely. So I assume that you make at least one coffee beer.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah,
too.
we have 2. We have a coffee porter that we're serving today, and we also have, which is one of our most popular beers. It's called the Coffee Pale Ale. It's called No Grounds.
Okay.
It's called No Grounds because we steep the coffee beans without grinding them.
Oh, really?
I like that.
So it's a very light-looking beer, but it's very deceptive. It's deceptively evil.
So do you have to steep it like really long since it's
About
not
2 weeks.
ground?
About
Okay,
2
I was going to say, because if it's not ground, it's going to take a long time to pull
No. It's actually
anything out of there.
Those beans, after a week, you can really get it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
So this beer that you brought to the table, though, this does not have coffee in it.
That's a Salima. So that's our Mexican dark lager with sea salt and lime.
That's really nice.
I picked up on the saltiness right away, and I'm glad I was not wrong on that. I didn't know if it was just like leftover burrito in my mouth or not.
Leftover burrito. We did have Mexican for dinner. What I like about it is the sea salt and lime. Like I've experienced that a lot in like lighter, like more traditional style lagers that a lot of breweries do. I don't know that I've ever really had a craft dark lager in the Mexican style. It's pretty nice.
We try to be disruptive and out of the box.
Right.
We try to do different styles, different things.
But then you also brought a hazy IPA.
Of course. Well, because
you
we had to.
You also have to make money, right?
Right. Yeah. right. It's a business, but
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's funny. But the thing about it is, it's look, you know what? If we're going to make a hazy IPA, we're going to make a good one.
Yeah,
and that's what we'll do. So yeah, the hazy is Mosaic, Citra, Centennial in the front, tons of dry hopping of Citra, Mosaic, and then our secret hop is Pecco.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Pecco is it's not a really well-known popular hop. But it brings that almost. It's almost like peppery.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a little like herbal and grassy, and I think peppery is kind of what I was clawing at there without getting to it. Yeah, it's really nice actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Dan
sorry.
hasn't tasted it yet. He's over there being all deprived.
Yeah, you've been deprived of beer today, that's for sure.
Oh, totally.
So can people can obviously consume coffee and beer at your place. Do you have like coffee beans that people can buy to go?
Yes.
Proprietary like blends or
so
something?
we're all we're into partnerships with small business all over. So, but our primary roaster is called Crescent Moon. They're out of Mullica Hill. And so we sell their beans. They're our primary roaster. We do roasters. We do other roasters as well, but Crescent Moon is our primary, and great coffee. Awesome. Yeah, so you can buy beans by the pound at the Fox. Yeah.
Super cool.
Speaking of things you can buy and take with you, do you guys package and distribute the beer at all? Or is it on site?
It's on site.
I was gonna say it's pretty young yet, so I imagine you haven't gotten to that.
You know what? I'm probably looking at a model where I have multiple locations versus having going the pure distribution route. It makes sense because, as I was talking about, the experience is really what we are about, and so But we do. I think we're at like 4 different bars and restaurants right now. We'll probably, by the end of the year, maybe 10.
Okay,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's not in a rush.
Well, I mean, it sounds like, and it's like with the focus on the location and the concept, and like you said, the experience coming in, that makes sense to sort of franchise the business out, or open multiple locations rather than sort of canning your beer and sending it all over creation.
Just a different model.
No, and I think that's a good model. I mean, and it's the craft beer is certainly a crowded market right now, so you kind of have to find your way, your unique sort of path to success in that. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's unique to have the coffee and the beer together in that kind of environment. That's really cool. I don't think I've come across that before.
Yeah. Well, again, the thing is, I think that it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Some people, but the thing about it is in Jersey, you can't have food. So that's the only thing.
That is kind of a down.
So the only problem, and it's not a problem per se, because people love us and they come with their. We get a lot of people who like work from home, that they come with their laptops, and they love just like. They'll just like camp out, boom, and just work for like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, that's cool.
Listen to chill music, and it's cool. But like, like the thing is, not having a bagel or a croissant.
Oh yeah,
a croissant would be very nice.
Very sort of a quintessential.
But you know what?
Part of the coffee shop.
That's the cost of doing business in Jersey. And I try to explain the laws to people, and I can't explain it. All I have to say is. That's the state. It's the law. They don't allow food, and that's Jersey.
So
sorry.
As a Pennsylvanian, I have to ask: does that mean that you can't have food, period, or you can't sell them the food?
We can't sell them the food.
So
they can bring.
They can bring food. Okay.
Yes, and a lot of people do that.
Okay.
So they bring in food. They order in food. Oh yeah.
You could call a food truck and be like, "Hey, park across the street."
Right. We fortunately we didn't even need a food truck because we have a brick oven pizza place right next to us.
Oh, okay.
And we also have a sushi place right on the
other. You just need a bakery now.
Oh yeah.
Some croissants.
A bakery would be very nice.
And a cot. You need a cot. Because right now everything is speaking to me. Coffee, beer, and then the pizzeria. And if I feel like it's sushi. That's perfect. Well, that's really cool to hear that you have that kind of stuff going. And I'm hoping I can get there to visit and check it out. Especially
you guys should do a mobile podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great. Especially if you're only 20 minutes outside Philly, because that's really easy for me and Wayne.
Yeah, we should definitely come and do that. Yeah.
Party on.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Chuck, it was great meeting you, man. Thanks for coming up to the table and
Cheers,
talking
guys.
to us.
All
Keep the positive energy.
Yes, absolutely.
Embrace the chase,
I
guys.
feel like I'm more awake now because of your energy, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I will swing over if I start getting tired again. I'll swing over to you.
All right, cheers, man.
Thanks, Chuck. Beers are still pouring. We're still recording. It's a forced rhyme. I'm going to make it work. And joining us now at the table, we have Alex from Lone Eagle. Alex, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Thank you for coming up to the table with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so how's the fest treating you so far? Let me ask you that first.
Good, real good. We got 3rd place for our Vienna Lager this
cool.
year.
Congrats.
Last year, our IPA got 1st place, so, it's happy to get another medal 2 years in a row. So.
I can imagine.
That's cool.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
How many years have you been coming to the fest?
This is our 2nd, so we've been open for about a year and a half.
Oh, nice.
So last year was probably about 6 months since we were open when we came. We've been here twice. It's been good, very positive, so we enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Get to come down, gamble a little bit, have a good time.
It is a fest.
Yeah.
I am exhausted, but having a good time.
One. Yes.
So Lone Eagle is in Flemington, New Jersey.
Correct.
Which I love that I can look at your shirt and not have
See, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
For those of us not from New Jersey, whereabout is Flemington?
Flemington is on the western side, closer to the Delaware, like Pennsylvania, and we're probably in like the middle of the state, so we're like 40 minutes north of Trenton. So
okay.
If you know like the Lambertville, New Hope, Phillipsburg area, we're right in there.
Very cool.
Nice. And what do you do at the brewery? Are you a brewer? Or?
I am the head brewer.
Head brewer, very nice.
Brewmaster, so I do recipe formulation, production schedule, all that good stuff.
And have you been there from the beginning?
Yeah, I started from the beginning. helped with putting in the installation of the equipment, and then started with certain recipes and stuff like that and whatnot. So pretty much helped with everything.
Very nice. And were you home brewing? Did you have previous brewing experience before you came on?
So I actually I came from Dogfish Head before this, and before that I worked at Dock Street Brew Pub in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we love Dock Street.
Yep.
Dock Street's great.
Yeah, so I worked there for a little bit. And then prior to that, I was at a small brewery in Massachusetts where I got my start as an intern.
Okay.
And I got a degree from the Siebel Institute for brewing technology. So I have a pretty good background in brewing, I think.
Sounds like
that's
it, yeah.
That's a pretty good resume right there.
That's awesome.
Very nice, very nice.
Is this your first stint as head brewer, or have you... Okay. So did you get to design the brew space then as your own?
No, it was already... Brewhouse and equipment was already ordered when I was hired and whatnot, but we are expanding into another building for more fermentation and canning and stuff like that. So that'll all be my design and whatnot.
So no, Rich hasn't returned with the beers yet, but what are you guys pouring today?
We have our Maiden Flight, our West Coast style IPA, our New England Chowder, which is obviously a New England IPA.
Chowder.
I like that.
The chowder.
Our Station Lager, which is the Vienna Lager, and then we have our Hopstad number 4, which is a series we do of dry hop saisons, and this one is a dark saison with El Dorado.
And so is that series like dry hopped with different hops?
Yes.
Each time it's the same saison recipe? And
No, recipe changes, name stays the same. We just add a different number to it.
Nice.
Different hop usually.
So like a scratch series kind of a thing.
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So what size systems are you guys brewing on there?
We have a 2-vessel, 10-barrel brew house. So then we have 4 20-barrel fermenters and 2 10-barrel fermenters. And then we have 6 20-barrel bright tank and 6 10-barrel serving tanks, which we basically use as small bright tanks as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And we have a big tap room space, so we have 14 beers on tap. And then we also do like pins and firkins and stuff like that at the brewery. So
do you guys distribute at all?
We do, yeah. We use a distributor in New Jersey. We were self-distributing when we opened, but it just got a little too much for us to handle.
Right.
Yeah, there's a point where you can't. And is it like just kegs, or you guys do like packaging, like cans, bottles?
We do. We actually can twice a month, and we usually do 2 different styles each canning. So we usually do one of our 2 like flagships, which is our Maiden Flight or our New England Chowder, and then something else with that as well.
So we finally got our hands on some of your
We
beers.
do have some of the beers.
I'm not sure what I have here. I'm going to
That's
assume this
the
is the
Saison.
lager. Oh, this
That's
is the dark saison.
The dark
Yeah,
saison.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the Vienna.
Yeah, that's the Vienna. So that one originally, the Vienna Lager was originally done for the Lambertville station down in Lambertville. They were one of our first clients, and they really wanted like a proprietary beer.
Right.
We brewed that for them, and it was such a hit that we were kind of forced into like distributing outside of there, and they were totally cool with it. And we put it in cans, and it's been like a huge hit for us.
Was it a bit of a pain that the one that you were forced into distributing happened to be a lager?
A little bit. I mean, I don't mind that. Personally, I'm a big like lager fan, like easy drinking kind of beer person.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited, that people give it the recognition that it probably should get.
I mean, from this side of the table, I think it's awesome that a lager is popular.
Sure.
I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I just know, it's more of an investment on your end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit more tank time and whatnot, but IPA is still king. We usually have like 3 or 4 IPAs on tap, just because that's kind of what everybody wants. They come in, what's new, what IPA do you have, and we got to keep it different.
So talk about the Saison a little bit. I'm really curious about how you managed to use the darker malts to get the color, but still respect the delicateness of a Saison.
Yeah, so we used Midnight Wheat, which is a debittered wheat malt, which is dark. Excuse me. And that's where we get a lot of the color from. There's a little bit of roasted barley in there to give it a little bit of roasty character, but Midnight Wheat gives it a ton of color. And then the Saison, you just choose through everything. So it's still like super dry, finishes at like 1.5 Plato still. So it's just like very light for the color of it. And you still get that cool aromatic Saison note, but then you kind of tie in that coffee with it a little bit, which still makes it pretty bright and like drinkable. So
very nice. I'm going to talk about this West Coast IPA right now, the Maiden Flight.
Yep.
I just got like a burst of pineapple, like right in the front. Really nice.
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Yeah, so we dry hop that with Amarillo, Equinox, and a little bit of Summit hops. You know, Amarillo and Equinox are huge tropical notes and stuff like that. Summit we bitter with, and that gives it a lot of pineapple flavor too, which has been like a huge, boost for that beer. It's actually one of the first beers that we brewed, and it was such a big hit that we just like kept rolling with it, and it's kind of become like the beer that we're known for right now, which is cool. And I mean, in the haze craze, I think that beer still outsells anything hazy that we make.
Yeah, and it's nice, and it's nice and clear and crisp, and it's. I like that it has those tropical fruity notes, and it's not. There's not a whole lot of dankness. There's not a whole lot of like super bitter. It's very like crisp, cream, bright hop character. Yeah,
it's very low hopped. It's probably about like calculated like 30 IBUs. Where if you get a normal West Coast IPA, you're up in like the 50, 55 range. So I purposely did that because I know it's going to make that beer more approachable, and also that beer is 8%.
What?
Wow.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, so that's like a pretty crushable 8% beer.
That is a very that's a dangerously
crushable. And 8% should not be in the same sentence.
Yeah, so that's like, and we don't filter, like it's super clear, but we don't filter anything. We're unfiltered for everything. We just use finings and stuff like that. So that's how we kind of time and temperature and a little bit of finings really clear the beer up. And I think it surprises a lot of people. Like if you were to drink it straight from the can and not look at the clarity, I think most people would probably think it's hazy.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
It's quite good.
Thank you.
Although the lager's my favorite.
Excellent.
The lager's really nice. I really like this, though. In fact, if you guys don't want any more, I'm going to kill this one.
Go right ahead.
I really got to pace
plenty
myself.
more at
It's
the
still
table,
early.
too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a lot more to get through ourselves, so it's already been a long weekend.
We recorded at Beer Fest before, but never 3 sessions in a row.
Yeah.
So this has definitely been a marathon unlike any other.
You guys are really testing your limits. Huh?
To say the least.
Definitely.
To say the least. Well, Alex, great meeting, man. Thank you for coming up to the table and chatting with us.
Yes, thank you.
And
Thanks,
hopefully we'll
guys.
get to see you again down the road.
Excellent. Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
man.
Cheers.
So you may, keen-eared listeners may notice that this is not Dan's voice opening up this particular interview. Dan was unfortunately indisposed with a minor catastrophe, so I have taken over the driver's seat here, so God only knows what is going to happen. But we are joined now by Chuck from Jersey Girl Brewing. How you doing, Chuck?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, man. So, how has the fest been for you so far?
It's been amazing. It's always good to look out of your booth and see a line of people waiting to try your beer. Some people some people are trying it for the first time, and walking away with smiles on their face and having just a great beer experience.
Always
That's what we're trying to do for New Jersey craft beer.
And you guys have quite a nice view of the stage from where you're at.
It gets a little loud. I got to admit, it gets a little bit loud over there. Yeah,
It's a little loud back here, and we're pretty far away.
I thought we had a great view, and then they put a tent up right outside of our booth for the massage chairs, and you can't see the stage at all. So you have this amazing view, and then suddenly a tent went up.
And it's just people getting massages.
People getting massages.
Nice.
The whole thing. We're making the most of it. We're making the most of it. Yeah.
So, Jersey Girl Brewing, how long have you guys been around?
It'll actually be our 2-year anniversary in April.
Sweet.
So
Congratulations.
first week in April.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Do you have a big event planned?
We do. We're going to do 4 bottle releases, and we have a whole lineup of beers that we're going to put on Nitro for the weekend, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's April 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Big 3-day event.
Very nice.
So where in Jersey are you guys located?
From here, as far northwest as you could probably go, about 2 hours away. We're in Mount Olive, New Jersey. We have a Hackettstown mailing address, so that's our town. We opened up the brewery. Mike and I live in Mount Olive, so we decided to keep our brewery right in our hometown.
Yeah.
It's a 4-mile drive to work. It's great. I've got one stoplight, and we have a lot of great craft breweries in the area. So we're part of a community of breweries, including Zigmeister and Manskirt that are right down the road. So when people come to Jersey Girl, they elect to do kind of the brewery trio, and they'll do all 3 in one day.
Very nice.
It's good for everybody.
Being that you are a youngish brewery, is this your first time serving at AC Beer Fest?
It's our second.
Oh, it's your second. So you were here
we
last
opened
year.
up
Okay.
2 years ago. When we opened up a week after the festival.
Okay.
So we missed the first one. This would have been our third, but
okay.
But it's good. It's our second year here. We received an award. So our Belgian triple Run one in the Belgian category, which is fantastic.
We've been pretty fortunate in having a lot of award winners
Yeah,
tonight.
we chose
on the
wisely,
podcast.
didn't
we?
we?
really did.
Sure
yeah,
did.
yeah, definitely.
So we'll talk about the triple, but let's start with this.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
I love a brewery that makes a good pills.
That's our hometown pills. We call that Mo Pills. Mount Olive Pilsner.
That's what we need in the craft beer world. Mo pills.
Mo Pills.
Mo pills, please.
Mo pills. Less problems
That's right.
instead of mo money, mo problems.
Mo pills, less problems. Well, it depends on how much pills you have.
That's true. That's true.
That's a nice 4.5% pills. It's traditionally true to a pills. It's got a nice hop aroma to it. A little bit of spiciness on the finish, but just an easy drinking clear beer. I mean, it's just
Very
fantastic.
nice. The way to Steph's heart is through a pilsner.
It's through a pilsner.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure.
How do we do, Steph? We're doing
It's
well?
delicious.
It is really nice.
Yeah. I kind of want the fest to be over now because I started my day with your pills, and I kind of feel like I could end the
Just
day
end
with
it
this
with
pills.
that. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Do you
But-
guys package your beers at all?
All 4 beers that you're having today are out in distribution in cans, too. So cans and draft.
And how far do your cans travel?
All 21 counties now. We just opened up
Oh,
the lower
nice.
6. It's one of the big things about the festival is we are now, as of this month, in all 21 counties. So being here, people come here for the show that live locally can now go and get the product at their retailers.
That's nice.
Bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So when are you going to jump into the 67 Pennsylvania counties?
I can't believe you knew. Well, I can believe you knew off the top of your head there were 67 counties.
67. We're trying to finish up New Jersey first, so we have a lot to do. We just added 2 more 60-barrel tanks, fermenters, into the brew house. So we have a lot of capacity that we want to get into the New Jersey market first, and then we'll start going into the Pennsylvania market, New York market.
Very
Probably a year away from that.
All right, I guess I can wait a little.
You're
So
gonna have
this
to
one
wait for your Mo
is
pills.
That's our Sunkist Citra.
Sunkist Citra. We're going backwards on the list. Okay.
Yeah, so that's our Sunkist Citra. That's as the name says, it's got Citra hops in it. It's our sessionable 5.5% IPA. It's really a great summer beer.
Super bright.
Yeah, we try to make our IPAs less bitter, more aromatic and flavorful. We do a lot of dry hopping, and we just like our IPAs that way. That way they're more approachable by people, and so far so good. We're not getting a lot of complaints about that or the Rake Breaker. They're really beautiful citrus
Rake
comes through.
breaker. I like that.
Rake Breaker. We actually broke the rake in our water time.
Oh, nice.
2 times
Right,
making
yeah.
that one. And that's where the name came from. Our cellarman jokingly said, "Oh, it broke twice. We should call it Rake Breaker." And it
Done.
just kind of stuck. Better than IPA number 3, which was the original name.
That's true. That's true.
It's definitely more memorable.
So
Yeah.
what hops are in this one?
So that's Mosaic. We have the Citra Mosaic. That's Mosaic and Amarillo, and that one. And you get more of a grapefruit flavor to it. So that's a 6.5% beer.
Now I see that you're wearing a hockey jersey.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have an ice hockey team, or are you just ice hockey fans?
We don't. We did a bus trip to the Prudential Center with our Chamber of Commerce, and the Prudential Center actually carries our beer. So they have some
That is where the New Jersey Devils play for
Where the
non-New Jersey people.
That's right. I got to remember that.
Yeah.
And so we were told we're the number 1 selling craft beer there.
Oh, how
so
cool.
for the trip, we have the jerseys made up, especially for the.
Even in Devils colors.
It's our company colors too. It just happens to be coincidental. So.
Just so happens.
Were you a big Devils fan, or?
I like hockey. I do.
Yeah?
I like hockey. I've become more of a Devils fan now that they have the beer on tap. of
Good
course.
answer.
We've done a couple of tap takeovers there now, and it's just a great venue for craft beer now. And I'm seeing a lot more. I think we've opened the door for a lot of other breweries to go in and bring their craft beer to the Prudential Center as well. So it's great.
It's nice to sort of blaze that trail. Yeah.
I don't mind. There's so much opportunity for craft beer in New
Yeah.
Jersey, and I don't think we're taking full advantage of it yet. There's still a lot of taps when you go out to the bars that have, if it's a 12 tap bar, there's 11 out-of-state beers or macro beers, and then 1 Jersey beer that's on a rotation. It is frustrating because there's over 100 breweries in New Jersey right now, all making fantastic beer that should be going out to the Jersey public. For the amount of beer that we sell in the state,
Yeah, absolutely.
there's a lot of upside. So.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of good beer to be had in the state.
Absolutely.
So now on to the award-winning beer of the day, I suppose.
Award-winning
Yes.
King Gambrinus. That's our Belgian triple. So that's a 10% Belgian triple. We use a Chimay clone yeast on it.
Oh.
And we try to make it very floral on the nose. We try to make it so that it's got kind of that nice bubblegum Belgian flavor.
Of course, yeah.
But it doesn't drink like 10%. There's no
Nope.
burn. Couple of those.
That's dangerous.
A couple of those, and you'll know you had a king. They're
And you know,
You'll know you had a king.
are you a marketing guy too?
No, me?
You should be.
This is canned also. So we do everything. All of our beers that you're having today, we have them in 4-packs, 16-ounce 4-packs. So the King Gambrinus is a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans. It's a great value.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's a lot
Yeah.
of booze in those cans.
That'll put you to sleep.
Yeah.
So, I do have to ask,
Sure.
Jersey Girl Brewing Company, where does that name come from, other than the Kevin Smith film?
Oh no, it's not the Kevin Smith film.
I was
It's not.
thinking the hockey jersey, maybe.
Although he's a hockey jersey,
Maybe
yeah,
there
he's
was a
from
connection there.
New Jersey, that's
so
true.
we were trying to come up with a name for the brewery that had Jersey in it. We're really proud to live in New Jersey, and we wanted that in the name. So when we were thinking about names, I called Mike up one night. It's like 11 o'clock. I said, Mike, I got a name for you, but you can't, don't react till tomorrow. I said, Jersey Girl Brewing Company. And I can hear him kind of go, oh, two middle-aged guys, Jersey Girl Brewing, it's not going to work. But for me, I grew up in New Jersey, and Mike grew up in New Jersey. And the thing we know is no two Jersey girls are alike. And for us, that's like craft beer. No two craft beers are alike. So Jersey Girl for us represents the diversity of craft beer, just like the Jersey Girls. So that's where the name comes from.
Very cool. I feel like you need a roller derby team that wears your jersey.
There's one in Morristown.
Are they Jersey girls?
They're Jersey girls.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. They're fantastic.
That's awesome.
They've had a couple of parties at the brewery. They're fantastic people, and they're great, great athletes.
I like that you had to tell him not to react until tomorrow.
Oh my
I
God.
tell him the name.
Where did that voice come
Oh
from?
no! am I not allowed to be here?
You're on the wrong side.
In case you didn't notice, Dan has thankfully returned to
I
the
have
podcast.
returned. I have returned.
And
Hi, Dan.
I'm glad you're back in one piece.
Me too.
I'm really glad you're back in one piece.
But that's it was nice that we waited overnight. It sank in. He called the next morning, and we went and got everything taken care of. Had the logo designed by a guy in Serbia. And
like
of all
actual,
places, right?
actual Serbia?
Actual Serbia, yes.
No, fake Serbia.
Well, I don't know if there's like a Serbia, New Jersey.
Yeah, could be.
New Serbia.
New Serbia.
Serbia.
And so it's all come together now. 2 years, and it feels good. It feels like things are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did notice all the beers you brought today are all lights in color.
Yep.
Is that just a coincidence that those are the beers you brought, or do you guys not really do darker beers?
We do a lot of beer. We have 10 beers on tap at the sample room. We have a breakfast stout called Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. We have a Russian Imperial called Rasputin's Revenge. We have a beer called Madagascar, which is a vanilla porter. So those are just a couple of our darker beers. These are all in distribution, so we have a distributor set us up today. So they brought all of our beers that they carry, which is good. We tend to more locally at home bring some of our darker beers out. The Wake Up and Smell the Coffee is another 10% breakfast stout. It's just beautiful. We put it on nitro in the sample.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Oh,
That sounds really good.
Oh, yeah.
I could wake up and smell that coffee right now.
Well,
That's for sure.
Congratulations on 2 years, and
Thank you.
enjoy the
Yeah.
anniversary next month.
Thank you very much.
It was great to meet you.
And nice to
Thanks for
meet you
stopping
guys
by.
as well. Thanks for having me on again. I
thanks so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Show is still going.
Hey guys, Dan's back.
I'm back. I know. Thanks for carrying the last one for me for a little bit.
Back again.
That was a little embarrassing.
That's
but
all right, man.
here we are. And joining us at the table now is Jason from Slack Tie. Jason, how are you, man?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for coming up to the table.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I know you were saying you were, at least before we started recording, you are relatively close to the stage where the bands are.
Yeah, right across from it.
Right across. Ooh, okay. That's got to be kind of rough when they're on.
It is, but if you like I love the Boss Tones. They were great.
Yeah.
And Pepper's good, but I'll probably be out of here by the time they come on. But it makes it interesting to try to communicate with people coming to get your beer. It's like a thumb up, thumb down kind of thing. This one, that one.
Yeah, right.
But it works out good.
Now, where is Slack Tide located?
We're located at 1072 Route 83 in Claremont, New Jersey. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Claremont, Claremont's part of Cape May Courthouse. So if you drive down the shore on the parkway, we're between exit 13 and exit 17. You can take either one of those two exits. It takes you right to the brewery.
I'm loving the very specific directions
Yes,
we're getting
me too.
from so many people here.
Well,
And it's always how to get there from the turnpike.
Right.
Yeah. And I think part of that is that, since we're at a pretty big beer fest, everybody sort of rehearsed that sort of when people ask, "Oh, where are you guys at?" Like you have your answer. You've got your answer memorized.
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Plus, I'm sure you also know where you work.
That's true. That's true.
Well, how long has Slack Tide been around?
We've just completed our 2-year anniversary on December 15th of 2017. And we also, at the same time, just completed an expansion. So we're now on a 3-barrel and a 10-barrel system. So we have a 10-barrel production system and a 3-barrel sort of, I don't want to call it a pilot because it's a little bigger than a pilot, but we can play around with it.
Yeah. That's cool. It's good to have a smaller system that you can do like experiment on. That's always nice.
Absolutely.
So you brought 3 beers to the table.
Yes.
What should we start with?
I would start with the Irish Red because it's the most approachable of the 3.
I love a good Irish Red. It's
And that-
sort of becoming a lost style a bit.
Yeah, you don't see it a whole lot. Yeah,
it is. We only make this beer in March for St. Patrick's Day, and we take English malts and American hops, combine it together, and it's a more malty beer, and that's an Irish Red's kind of style profile. But a lot of people love it. It's only 5.3 alcohol. It's really crushable. So.
Very nice.
I love that. It's quite delicious. It's a good alternative to a Guinness on St. Patrick's Day.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And then here we have a blonde ale.
Yeah, that's our Belgian blonde. That beer actually won the Philadelphia Inquirer Brewvitational in 2016. It's tradition. It's an American. Our spin on a Belgian style blonde ale. That's a 7.3 ABV on it. So it won't let you down, so to speak. But it's also pretty smooth. A lot of people like that. That's the beer that folks come into the brewery and say, "What's your lightest beer?" That's where they start.
That's where you send them.
Oh, okay.
Lots of bubblegum notes.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
quite
very much
tasty.
so. A lot of Belgians tonight, actually, surprisingly. We've had a lot of Belgians this evening and yesterday, I guess. It all blurs together into one big long thing. I don't even know.
Yeah, it feels like
anymore.
we've just been sitting here for like 100 hours
3 days.
straight. And we can't leave.
So you are one of the co-founders of Slack Tide. You do the brewing.
My brother actually does the brewing.
Okay.
When we first started, we did it together.
Okay.
When we first opened, we brewed on a basically a 20-gallon system.
Mhm.
So we'd only have enough beer to be open for about 4 hours on a Saturday. But anyway, we brewed together then, and then I actually stayed at my day job for the first year and a half, 2 years at the brewery, and just left, and I'm now doing the brewery full time. So I do all the sales, marketing, regulatory stuff,
Right.
and my brother and we have an assistant brewer, Jim, do most of the recipe formulation.
Oh, that's cool.
But the 4 flagships, Bellbuoy being one of them, were my brother and I, and then after that, it's been a collaboration between all the guys that brew it with us.
Right. And you guys, were you homebrewing together
Yeah,
prior and then?
Yeah, we homebrewed for 5 years. We started in my garage, got too big for my garage, and moved to my brother's garage.
Right.
And then about a year before we wanted to go pro, we took 6 of our best beers, put them in a mixed sampler pack, sent it out to 50 acquaintances, people we knew, some people we didn't, sort of knew, friends of friends,
Right.
so to speak. And one of the guys happened to be a certified beer judge, a BJCP judge, and he said, "Look, I'll take it home, I'll judge it on the score sheet, I'll bring it back." I said, "I just want you to know, my brother and I are, have all the paperwork filled out. I want to start a brewery." A week later, he came back. I said, "Am I crazy, or should I do it?" He goes, "No, go straight ahead.
Yeah.
Do it."
Oh,
And
nice.
that's what happened. So
Nice.
18 months later, we were a brewery.
That's pretty cool. You don't often get that that sign of approval from a BJCP judge before you open a brewery. That's pretty.
Right.
It's got to give you some confidence.
And at least you know he's going to give you honest feedback.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
that exactly. And one of the things that we said to the folks we gave it to was, beat us up. If it's bad, please
Yeah.
tell us.
Yeah.
And fortunately for us, everything was positive, but that one comment, that one guy's feedback was what sort of triggered the whole thing.
Thing to say, yeah, we can do this. Nice.
So this beer is something that you said you just debuted.
Yeah, this
So
is
brand new.
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. So this beer is a New England IPA. It's named after a local offshore fishing spot called the Atlantic City Ridge, but we just dropped the Atlantic City part, so it's called the Ridge. And it's been going really well out on the floor. We're actually on our last keg of it, so
Yeah.
it's been going pretty good.
The kids love the haze.
Yes,
They
they
do.
do.
The kids love that haze.
So I have to ask, what does slack tide mean?
Okay, so before my brother and I opened the brewery, we fished a lot.
Uh-huh.
And slack tide is the point in the top or the bottom of the tide when the water doesn't move. So
hence slack.
generally, fish stop biting at the top and the bottom of the tide. because they need current to feed. So that's when you crack open a couple beers, wait 15, 20 minutes for the tide to turn, and then start fishing again. That's where slack tide came from.
That's cool.
Now, if you were to ask my wife what the definition of slack tide is, she would say it's the point in the tide where the water is completely unstressed, which is the official definition of a slack tide.
Okay.
Either way, they work.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
I would say a pair of pants and laundry detergent.
It's not slacks tide.
Slacks tide. The slacks tide challenge.
Who calls them slacks anymore?
I don't even know. Don't even know. So what made you sort of veer off to the marketing business side and your brother staying on the brewing side?
my background
Did you
is
flip a coin? Oh.
No, my background is in that, and most of it came from the fact that I could do those functions of the brewery and still maintain a day job. I couldn't be at the brewery brewing all day and be at my day job at the same time.
That's true.
So
yeah.
that's the first part of the catalyst. The second part is my background's in three-dimensional marketing. I did trade shows, museum interiors, all that kind of stuff for 15 years as a project manager.
Right.
So I have some familiarity with it, and it just was more of a natural, sort of a seamless way to make it work.
Right.
I mean, would I love to jump back in the brew house tomorrow? Sure. But at this point, it's running great. Let's just let it go.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Stick to what you know, and it's cool. I feel like most of the younger successful breweries that we've come across, especially recently, because it's a more challenging market now than it used to be. The key is having somebody who focuses on the beer, somebody who focuses on the business, somebody who focuses on marketing,
Absolutely.
rather than one person trying to wear all the hats.
Absolutely.
Just making good beer does not make you a successful brewery.
You still have to get it in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I tell a lot of people that come to us and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a brewery, I said, okay, well, the first thing I'm going to ask
Don't.
you... well, that. I said the first thing is be careful what you wish for. But no, the other part of it is there's a huge learning curve for if you've gone from home brewing to professional brewing. That's the first thing. And the second thing is you have to understand the brewing process. You can be the smartest business guy in the world. If you don't know how to brew or don't trust the person that you're working with, or you're going out and hiring somebody to brew, it could get a little dicey. It could. There are still some guys that make that successful, but for the most part, you got to have at least some knowledge of both sides of the coin. Otherwise, it could get really hard to do.
Wow. Well, I learned a lot, Jason. I now know what a slack tide is.
Yeah.
And I learned that I need to get to your brewery because you guys are killing it. These beers are quite tasty.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
They're really nice. Yeah,
Thank you
they're
so
really
much
good.
for stopping by, and I'm jealous that you're sneaking out early. I will admit it. So safe travels tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. I did draw the short straw last year and had to stay till the end. So,
So you win.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
this is
Fair
your
enough. Fair enough.
Goes around,
Thanks
comes
a lot,
around.
guys.
Cheers.
All right, just man, thanks.
So we're almost at the end of the fest. For better or worse,
We are in the last leg.
We are in the last leg. The final session only has like 2 hours to go. In real time, God only knows what that'll end up being in podcast time. It's been fun, but it's been exhausting. But, of course, we could not finish out the show without having Matt and Rob from Tuckahoe. And how are you guys doing today? Thanks for coming up to the table.
We're doing great. I mean, glad to have Matt here with me. I don't get to spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah, no. As an owner, I never see Rob, our salesperson, ever.
Never.
It's terrible.
And if
I'm
not,
glad
it's
we
not
can
like
bring
it's
the
on
two
purpose.
together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we're here together about 20 miles from where we actually work, right?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Finally,
Are
we got this
20
fucking
miles?
thing. Barely.
Give or take. It's a rough estimate. It's 20 from somewhere.
But it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well,
Thank you for having us, yeah.
an excellent segue. Where exactly is Tuckahoe?
So we're in Egg Harbor Township, which sort of a quick 15, 20 minutes drive from here.
Okay.
What exit off the turnpike?
No, we're off the
Turnpike?
expressway.
What's the turnpike?
What's a
The
turnpike?
expressway. Everyone's been giving us their exit off the turnpike tonight, and I
South
find
Jersey
it hilarious.
does not know what the turnpike is.
So you have the expressway. That's
and
the one
the
that
parkway,
goes this way.
Yeah.
So we're exit 9.
Exit 9 off the
Expressway.
Expressway.
Parkway is like 36. there's an equation in
I
there.
need
so
a
there's
map.
The whole thing is a formula.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All I need to know is, can I make a left turn anywhere around the brewery?
Probably not.
Yes.
Okay, good. So no jug handle.
I make illegal
yeah.
left turns
well,
in the parking lot all
Yes,
the time.
actually, off of the Black Horse Pike, you can
Okay,
make a
okay.
left with an arrow.
That's like the only one in the state of New Jersey, then.
One of four.
One of four.
It's a left with training wheels because there's an arrow. We kid, New Jersey. We kid.
Yes, we do, kid. Well, how long has Tuckahoe been in existence?
So we actually opened up in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Down in Ocean View, which is outside of Sea Isle. And then we moved to Egg Harbor Township in 2014. 14, 15. We opened our doors in Edgar Township in December of 15. So we've been around since 11. So what's this, 7 years?
About 7 years, yeah, roughly.
Give or take. And have you guys been coming to AC Beer Fest?
Ever since we opened, yeah. So it was December of 11, so our first Beer Fest was April 12th.
Wow. So you guys are OG around here.
Yeah.
So, do they always put all of the New Jersey breweries together? Is that something they've always done?
I think they started doing that in like 2012 or 13. Obviously, it's far more developed now.
Yeah.
Back then, it was, 10, 12?
Yeah, it was probably
maybe,
the size of this podcast
Right.
area.
We have a whole road now. Like we
Yeah.
have a whole you have to walk around the whole section like in an oval.
huge.
Like that's humongous.
It's so awesome here because it really is such a nice representation of all the New Jersey breweries. Some aren't here, of course, but you can't get this kind of New Jersey breweries in one spot at one time unless you come to the AC Beer Fest.
Yeah.
So, it is really awesome.
And it's hard to say no, I feel like, if you are a New Jersey brewery
For sure.
to this fest.
You'll be shunned. You'll be kicked out of the community.
Well,
especially if you live like 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially.
We're very
Like us.
close.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys brought me in. I used to work at another brewery, and we don't need to name them. That's fine. They're good friends of mine. That's great. But Matt and I have known each other from drinking at other bars, and we ended up running into each other one day. And he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a sales manager," and I was like, "No, this is my opportunity to go bigger because these guys had a bigger vision than where I was." And coming here was like, I want to make this place great, and this is why we have a long hug. Like John Henderson and I are pretty good friends, and
John Henderson is sort of the
he's
godfather
the man.
of this
He is-
event.
He is the godfather of AC Beer Fest.
Don.
He's a visionary.
He's the Don.
Don John.
He's a visionary. He's angry to join Beer Fest, but it's all right. Anyway, he, I knew that Forgotten Boardwalk did it last year, and coming into Tuckahoe, I'm a very passionate person, so I live and die by what I do. And when he moved his office a block from my house, I was like, yeah, we're the official Beer Fest. I went to his office one day, and I'm like, dude, kicking your door down. We are the official Beer
This
Fest.
is what we're doing.
Hey,
and you're gonna
actually,
like it.
Rob made an offer that John couldn't refuse.
Yeah,
to
that's-
play up on the whole Don.
Yeah, that's sort of the reverse of what you'd expect. So we're talking about the Long Hug.
The official Beer Fest beer for 2018.
Which we are drinking out of plastic
Cheers.
Bud Light
Bud
cups,
Light.
which is appropriate.
Dilly.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say that.
Holy crap, this is not what I was expecting.
My distributors are all
Yeah.
AB.
What were you expecting? Or
I'll
don't
say
tell us that.
dilly.
What do you like about it, I guess is what.
I like that it's not a hazy IPA.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I've had enough of those this week.
Why, you don't like them?
Well, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. They're fine, but when you have 12 of them in 2 hours, it's like, really?
Well, I just realized we don't really have any notes on this beer except that it's the official beer, so we didn't know
This
beer
is brand
style
new.
it was sort of hidden from us, but super oaky, and I have a feeling it's much higher in alcohol than I think it is.
No, actually, believe it or not, I think what you're getting is so much fruit. There's a lot of fruit going on, and,
Yeah.
and not just from when you're talking about these hazy IPAs. A lot of those the fruit flavors and aromas come from the hops.
Right.
There's actual fruit in there too. So
We hand peeled that.
not to mention the saison yeast.
Hand-peeled fruit.
8 cases of lemons and grapefruits.
Wow, that's
and
a lot
I never want to
appealing.
eat I won't eat a grapefruit for a long time.
You know what? That's very appealing.
It is very
Interesting.
appealing.
It tastes really oaky to me, the grapefruit.
It does. It does kind of have that sort of character to it,
Yeah.
where you feel like this has seen some.
I mean,
wood.
in a great way. It's really.
If you
it's
taste
quite
it,
tasty.
it's not the typical saison characteristic where you get the champagne because the fruit actually takes away from that anyway. So, but it's such a good blend of the yeast and the fruit. It makes for this beer is so easy to drink.
Yeah, it is
really
like a
yeah.
hug.
It is like a hug.
It is totally like
It
a
is a
hug.
long
a
hug.
long and winding hug.
Often when you have a fruit beer, during the brewing or fermentation process, you're just getting one aspect of the fruit introduced to the beer. In this case, we're adding peels to the essentially to the boil early on, and then we're adding the actual fruit pulp later on in the boil. So it's sort of 2 editions of the fruit, which is
It's the peel. That's what it is.
It's kind of making the beer
where you
even
get
more
the bitter.
more complex than just adding
throwing some fruit in
at some other period in in the process.
So was it a collaboration between all of you to come up, or did one person say this is the beer we're going to do, or how did it?
Very good question. Actually, the answer is that our old head brewer actually kind of came up with this recipe in collaboration with John and his team from the Beer Fest from Good Time Tricycle, and that was established. I would say back in November. Maybe.
Yeah, we had a meeting in November, and we brewed it in December.
And then subsequently we kind of upscaled it a little bit, but so it was a lot of heads were put together to
Very
come up with
cool.
this. Yeah.
So is it a different New Jersey brewery that does this collaboration beer each year?
Yeah, so last year, Forgotten
Boardwalk.
That was the first time that John ever did it. And
so this is a fairly new addition
so we're
to the
number
Fest.
2, and he didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently everybody thinks it's a big deal because he was like, people are like, they shouldn't be the beer fest, we should be. And it's like, he's like,
Now there's
sorry.
some competition going on.
It's a prestigious thing. Like, John has gotten this festival to, I think it was number 3 in USA Today. So, I mean, it's close to as big as GABF. GABF is a
up
little
there.
bigger.
Yeah.
But, GABF is a little different as far as you get gold medal at GABF, you're in. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that is
I
sort
think
of
John's getting there. Like, this is the first year that they did the judging by blind. And I think that's a great thing. Like, before it was like, hey, here's your Tuckahoe beer or here's your Forgotten Boardwalk beer. Like, doesn't matter. But this year, nobody knew what they were drinking. And I think that legitimizes that thing. I don't even know if that's
The
a word.
judging, that's totally a word.
It makes it legit. Anyway, but
you nailed it.
yes.
Legitimizes is actually a word.
I think maybe moving forward, like
it's legitimately a word.
It's legitimately
a craft beer judge, like because you earn points every time you judge. Like maybe moving forward, like he should get more people that are certified beer judges, and you earn your points at AC Beer Fest. It'll make it really it'll make this event almost as big as GABF.
That's pretty cool. You know, it's Harrisburg Beer Week, which only started 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah, 4.
They every year they do an official beer. They always call it the 717.
717.
Because it's the area code out there in that area. But it's always a collaboration between like several of the area breweries. So it'd be really cool to have like a brewery collaboration beer every year.
That's kind of what I thought
for Atlantic City Beer Fest
was happening when I had heard that this
you
was
bring
the case.
together like 3 or 4 New Jersey breweries that just combine heads on a recipe.
Actually, it's funny you should mention that. Well, festivals like this, and I was saying before that New Jersey, we have an area dedicated to Jersey breweries. I was just having a conversation with Rob and another brewery from the state earlier about setting up a collaboration. This is like such a perfect opportunity to like talk to other members of the industry, local or sort of not local, but and come up with ideas and so although this is not a collab with another brewery, next year it actually might be. Yeah, I'm not saying that we would be. But,
Actually, I know who the official beer is next year.
No, I just mean
Kate May.
I just mean
We love them.
Beer Fests are so great because it gives brewers an opportunity when breweries get to go to Beer Fest, not just like here. It's great because we're all here. As opposed to like reps. Exactly. Right. So I get to talk to guys from and girls from other breweries and like come up with ideas. Yeah. So we actually are in planning right now in that sort of napkin stage. Right. Planning
The
with
idea
another brewery
is out there. That's cool.
So
that's
so that's something that will happen for sure.
Yeah.
When? Don't know. Because like I said, we're
at some point.
Yeah. We're napkin and pen right now. But
Napkin and pen, I love it. There's the name of the beer, Napkin and Pen.
Napkin and Pen. I don't know. I don't know if I would drink a beer called Napkin and Pen.
I totally would.
I might force you to. If I bring a picture of it,
Well,
here,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to drink it.
Napkin beer? Nah.
Can you imagine saying no to the picture
to a
of
picture
napkin
of beer?
and pen?
Well, we laugh at names because like Matt always is like, I feel like you need a name before you brew the beer. And I don't sleep a lot. Like I have issues because I travel the whole state, like, and I have to make sure that our brand is being represented the right way and make sure our distributors sell our beer the right way. But like, I'm always thinking of names. And I'm like, I don't want a name that's already on Untapped. Like, it drives me insane.
Yeah, names are
it drives me nuts.
I kind of like the idea where a lot of breweries take where it's just like you would just say, this is our porter. This is our IPA.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even give
Tuckahoe
it.
Porter.
Yeah, exactly. Tuckahoe Porter. Tuckahoe Saison.
there's nothing wrong
Tuckahoe
with that.
Saison
I mean,
with
that's
raspberries or
here's the
whatever,
thing.
you know.
Names
Yeah.
and labels.
But, you know, everybody in this industry though is like so into like the pop culture and and the culture. So it's like fun to
beer names
come up
are
with-
great, and they're awesome and they're fun. But eventually, you got to just be like, or you just get one of those like password generators that generates like really secure passwords and just use that.
So
as
all
your
the names are
big-
going to be like question mark,
uppercase
exclamation
X,
mark, and
exactly.
like lowercase s.
NC301.
Are you a
at
bot?
sign. Yeah.
Are you a bot?
I'll take
Captcha.
at ampersand, please.
I mean, there's times like I get home and I'm like, that must really drive Matt nuts because I'm like, dude, I looked up on Untapped and like I can't find a name and like
No,
it drives me nuts.
no, that's exactly what you're hired to do.
I know.
So you don't drive, you're helping me. Thank you.
Drive me nuts by doing your job.
Aw, he just said thank you.
It drives me a little crazy. Like I'm just like, I don't want to have the same name as everybody. And like one thing we just started doing is we have local artists that come in and we came up with a beer that we're trying to phase in with doesn't use all our one beer didn't use the same yeast as everything else. So we made a new beer. We just added oats to it basically, but I was like, let's make something cool. So I got a local artist. I told these guys, I'm like, I'm going to pay this guy. He's going to make a label. And he made, like, it's the coolest label I've ever seen in my life. And I think moving forward, like, that's something that we should do. Like, local artists, you make a label. You got your label. And he signed it. And I asked him, he sent me the digital photo, and I was like, did you sign it? And he's like, I'm very humble. And I'm like, well, I'm not. And he's like, it's literally like that big. And I'm like, dude, you should have your name on there because it's so good.
That is a great thing, right? About like this industry, like you can use a local artist, or coffee roaster, or whatever.
I mean, we have a
maker,
coffee
whatever.
beer on tap right now, Citra Cafe, and before I came to these guys, they were down in where Ludlam Island is, and Harry and Beans is the coffee guys, but he thought we weren't going to use them when we left, and when I came back, I'm like, we're not shying away from you. Like, your coffee is good. It is really good.
It made our beer.
And we still use it, and it's a great beer.
Well, it's so awesome to meet the two of you.
Definitely.
And thank you for sharing the official beer with us. We've officially been hugged.
Uncomfortably drinkable.
I'm actually going
Thank
to drink
you.
a little bit more of it.
We're going to give you guys some uncomfortably long hugs too. The listeners will not see those.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Cheers,
you, guys. So, Steph, were you in charge of when people would come onto the show? Was that you in all the scheduling?
I did put the schedules
Is
together,
this going somewhere?
Why did you make the longest name towards the end of the interviews?
Sorry.
You should have known we would be relatively drunk by now.
Sorry.
So we have from, and I apologize, I will probably get this wrong, even though you literally just told me before we went on air, Alltech Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company. We've got Chris.
Thank you, yeah.
Did I get it right?
Absolutely, you
All right,
nailed
cool.
it.
And he is a national brand ambassador.
National ambassador. Well, it's good to meet you, man. Thanks for coming up to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
I assume we can just call it Alltech Lexington for short.
Yeah, or Kentucky Ales, whatever works.
Kentucky Ales. I like Kentucky Ales.
We should have led with that.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah,
we
it's a little bit
definitely
easier.
should have led with that. Well, how's the fest been treating you? I know we're towards the end, but how'd it go?
It was fantastic. Really great reception to all the beers. I mean, we sold out of 2 out of 4 already, and we're keeping it going.
Very nice. Very nice. I know it's a beer fest. Did you bring any of the distilled beverages with?
We may have snuck in a couple bottles here and there.
I may inquire about details as to that in a little bit.
I know nothing.
Good answer. Good answer. Well, what? So, I'm assuming it's actually from Kentucky, the company.
Absolutely, Lexington, Kentucky.
All right. So, how did you end up at the Atlantic City, New Jersey Beer Fest?
Well, we're a growing company, and New Jersey is a big part of that growing. And so obviously the tri-state area is a key part of our national distribution, and you can't miss out on something this fun.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It is a huge and boisterous beer fest, that's for sure.
And boisterous, yes.
It certainly is.
It's a good word.
Is
correct.
Kentucky Ales distributed in all 50 states or 48 continuous?
Or 30 or 35. Let's try to guess.
8.
17.
12.
You actually hit it a little closer the first time. We're in 29 out of the 50 states.
All right.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is good.
Hence the growing company. I shouldn't have assumed it would have been at 50 if you're still growing. Now, is that just beer or is that distilled?
So we do beer and spirits. Spirits are not in all of our states.
Okay.
But beer is, as of this point, in 29 out of the 50.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I noticed that a few of the beers you guys were serving today, one of which we're going to drink now, are barrel aged. So like this one is a bourbon barrel aged blackberry porter. So was the bourbon barrel from your distilling company?
100%. So, a lot of the story for us is all about the barrel. Being in Lexington, Kentucky, it's synonymous with bourbon. So we have our Town Branch Distillery, which is actually the only distillery on the Bourbon Trail located in downtown Lexington. As a result, we're also the only brewery on the Bourbon Trail in downtown Lexington.
That's pretty cool. That is like if beer could be a jelly donut.
Yeah, and it's almost like a nice raspberry soda.
Yeah, it's very bright in the carbonation. It's probably why you're getting that feel. But you know how you get that like punch of jelly when you bite into a jelly donut? That's like what this gives. John's like, give it to me.
That's barrel aged?
Bourbon barrel aged.
That one's bourbon barrel aged.
How long has it been out of the barrel?
So all of our beers go in for 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
And this is our springtime seasonal.
Okay.
So this one runs for us from February through April.
Okay. So it came out of the barrel like a month ago, 2 months ago.
What month is
whatever.
it?
What month is it? March. No, I was asking just because it's not super hot. There's not like a really potent bourbon character. It's more of like the wood and the subtle characters that you get.
The sweetness is in the finish.
Yeah, and you get that usually when it's out of the barrel for a while and it kind of mellows.
Yeah, we really like to make beers that are accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So as a result, we try to dial in a lot of our bourbon barrel aged products right around 8%.
Right.
Not too high, not too low, kind of right in that Goldilocks zone for bourbon barrel aged beer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's really nice. I really like that.
Now then, of course, you have an IPA.
We have our College Heights IPA. So this one's actually kind of a fun one for us. Western Kentucky University is actually one of the few accredited brewing and distilling programs in the U.S. And when we heard that they were looking for space to brew beer, we actually decided to go ahead and help them out and build them a space that these kids who are learning how to brew could come in and actually get to do some hands-on work.
That's so cool.
As a result, we have the College Heights line of beers. We make an APA as well as the IPA that you have in front of you. And it's just really nice for those kids to be able to see that go out nationally.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's very approachable and it's very drinkable and it's really nice and clean and just I like a good IPA that like drinks like a lawnmower.
Yeah, and it's just the right amount of hoppiness too. It doesn't. It's not too much that leaves you wanting more. It's not too little that it leaves you wanting more. It's not too much that you kind of regret taking the sip of it. It's right there. It's a nice punch and then it's gone.
That's the kind of beer that like when we were talking about in a recent episode that like you drink it and you have a conversation, but it doesn't dominate the conversation.
Right.
Like that's just a nice, easy drinking, well made beer that's not trying to like claw your eyes out for attention. I really like that.
Excellent. Thank you guys.
Easy to put away.
So how are your beers packaged?
So we have 12-ounce bottles. Most of our bourbon barrel-aged products come in 4-packs, just to keep the price down on the shelf for the consumer. We have a vanilla barrel cream ale, which is actually coming in 6-packs. This one's 5.5%, so it just made a little bit more sense. And then, of course, we have 6 stills and half barrels out there for all of your bars.
Very cool. So is the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, is that like the flagship beer?
That's our flagship beer. So our owner, Dr. Pierce Lyons, who unfortunately just passed away a couple weeks ago, he's an Irishman who comes from 6 generations of coopers and distillers. In fact, his aunt was one of the first female coopers in all of Ireland. And so when he came to the States, he kind of wanted a beer that reminded him of home. So he decided to go with a style that's kind of a hybrid of an Irish red and English pale. So the base beer is called Kentucky Ale. And then this one comes in at 5.5% ABV. after 6 to 8 weeks in the barrel, we end up with an 8.2% really easy drinking bourbon barrel aged beer.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. See, I like that because I enjoy the flavor of those beers, but I don't like to drink too many of them because you get intoxicated way too fast.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice balance. You can enjoy the flavors and enjoy the complexities that beer brings without...
And of course, the whole idea,
falling on your
is
face.
when you're making year-round bourbon barrel-aged beer, you don't want people to go to the bar and sit down and have just one, You don't sell too many kegs that way.
That's a good point.
We backed off the ABV and made it so that there's not a lot of flavors that kind of jut out at you, just some very smooth, very well melded together flavors.
Very cool. Well, Chris, it was awesome to meet you.
Hey, I appreciate it,
Thank you
guys.
for stepping in here and talking to us.
Of course.
I'll actually be heading through Kentucky in our travels this summer, so I will have to swing by and check out the place for myself.
Bring me back some whiskey.
I will.
All right, good.
Thank you.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the fest.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Dan, we've made it.
We have.
We are officially
It's officially our last scheduled
to
interview.
our last interview of the evening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we still have last call.
We do.
For our
We do.
patrons, but this is the last one on the spreadsheet, guys.
That's the way we feel, too.
We
Holy
made it.
shit.
Oh,
I know,
God.
right? It's been a long
Every
couple of days.
muscle in my body hurts.
Pretty much.
Yes. It feels
But
like
hey,
this
man.
fest has been a week, but it's been awesome.
Hey, at least we've got to sit down most of the time.
That's true.
I mean,
you guys are standing. Whoo.
Yeah.
And you saved the best for last, so.
We did.
Oh, totally.
I was going to
True.
say we
well,
can't
we do
finish.
love Sly Fox. We are a Pennsylvania podcast, so we have to finish
Yeah,
with a
we are.
Pennsylvania
We are
brewery.
definitely we are tourists here at the AC Beer Fest. We are Philly, PA based, so Sly Fox has been near and dear to us for years and years. So to finish with you guys is only appropriate.
Go Eagles.
Yeah.
How about it, man?
Yeah, that too. Sports.
So, I know, unfortunately, we don't have it at the table because it did kick today, but we want to talk about the Alex's Lemonade beer that you guys did for this event.
So it's called Alex's Lemon Wheat, and we're actually giving back a portion of the proceeds to Alex's Lemonade Stand. Our sales director was neighbors with them, so he has stayed close connection to the family. So we're really excited about the beer.
So is this beer still out in the market? Can people get it?
It's coming out in April.
So this was a preview.
Yes, this was
Oh,
our
nice.
launch
That's
in
cool.
kind of Jersey for it, but it's coming out April 1st. So we'll start to see it kind of go into the market next month.
Well, that's awesome. So we will still get it.
Yes.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, we'll have it.
We'll
have
go
it.
to Sly Fox and have it at the brewery. How's that?
Definitely.
That is super cool. What a great cause and what a fun beer. So I assume it is a lemonade-inspired wheat beer?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's a Hefeweizen, and we added lemon oil and lemon zest. So not technically a shandy because we didn't put lemonade in it.
Right.
We just made a traditional German wheat beer, added lemon oil, lemon zest to make it a little more authentic German-style beer.
I am imagining that tasting incredible.
Yeah,
Not
and better than a shandy because I'm not a fan of shandy.
Shandies can tend to be a bit sweet.
Yeah.
This beer
There's
is
a time and a place for them.
There is.
no doubt
There
about
is.
it. Yeah, but it actually is just not discriminating. It appeases a very wide audience.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Now,
Very
it's kind of funny that you guys are sitting here both drinking from 360 cans because we brought that up earlier. I don't
We did.
remember who we were talking
We were
to.
randomly talking about cans and how cans have been cool now for a while.
Oh,
and
how
they weren't-
Oscar Blues sort of made cans cool, and
then
then we
Sly
said, well,
Fox.
Sly Fox made them cooler.
Yeah, pretty much.
With the 360 can. So you're drinking the Hellas, so I feel like we should drink the Hellas, which is probably this one.
So forgive me if I've drunk too much, but do we officially introduce these guys?
I don't think we did.
By name?
We did. So we have, as I'm sure
We
you
jumped
picked
right
up on
into it.
right now,
We kind of just
from
like
Sly
hit the ground
Fox,
running.
we've got Corey and Nikki. So we should, of course, say thank you for coming up to the table.
Yes, thank you, Corey and Nikki.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
very
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely.
We were at Sly Fox about a year ago as of this
Has it been
recording.
that long already?
It has been
Yeah.
about that
Wow.
long, yeah. And one of the night was just super cool overall, but there was a hot air balloon, and then it was really weird because it looked like it was going to crash, but it didn't crash. But hot air balloons also can't really cause much damage if they crash.
I
So
guess, yeah.
it was just kind of weird having that drape over like all the bushes, and nobody expected it like that.
We also got some of our favorite sound clips from that evening, which I'm
Yes.
sure Dan.
Go back in time.
Well, I was now
There's
gonna-
that, and
You can't really stick your whole thumb in there.
So good old Brian,
I was
the
gonna say,
brewmaster at
that
Sly Fox.
sounded like Brian.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's Brian.
That's him. Yeah, I love those two sound bites.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
can
was
you
a
email
fun
me that?
Yes, absolutely.
I want it to be my ringtone.
Yeah, really.
That
Yeah.
would be pretty awesome.
So we mentioned the Alex's lemonade stand. kicked. Unfortunately for us, but fortunately for you guys, because it's great that it was that popular that you guys actually went through it all. So that's awesome. But we do have a couple other beers here.
We have 2 lagers. We have the Pils and the Helles, which are super delicious.
Of
I'll pass them this way
Which
first.
Pils? Is it Pikeland?
It's Pikeland,
Yes, I love that beer so much.
It's fantastic.
I mean, Sly Fox, we have to be drinking lagers. Of course.
True. You can't not.
I get asked all the time. I've been at the brewery now 20 years, and every event I do, somebody says, "What's your favorite beer?" That to me is like asking me if I had 5 kids, who do you love the most? However,
it's a
I
tough
like that
decision.
comparison. That's good.
If you had to choose,
in that 20
Gun
years
to my
I've
head.
been there, I've drank more Pikeland Pils than any other
than
beer.
anything else, yeah.
It is very clean, easy to drink, but yet it has distinction.
Yeah, certainly.
I found out by accident that it pairs really well with Chinese food.
I imagine it would, yeah.
Yeah.
It would pair well with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
It's a pretty clean, easygoing beer.
Yeah, a good standard traditional Pilsner will pair with just about anything you throw in front of it.
So next is an IPA, and this is a newer IPA, right?
Yes, it just launched in March. It's Volpulent IPA. So it's a hoppy, fruity, kind of like all the craze right now.
Very
But
juicy
I can
fruit.
see through it.
Yes. Not super hazy.
Yeah. That's my new gauge. Somebody presents me a beer that they're like, this is a juicy IPA. If I can see through it, I'm like, all right, let's see.
Let's take your word for it.
I like where this is starting.
Now, will this be in cans, or is it just draft right now?
This will be in cans as well, and this is in the market now.
Oh, very cool.
Are all of the cans 360 cans?
No.
No, okay. So
And
only.
in Jersey, it's no 360 cans.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, you're breaking the law right now.
Yeah, illegal contraband. We smuggled it right
Actually,
across
yeah,
state
that's
lines.
True, that's true. When we recorded at Sly Fox, we talked a lot about how you had to produce 2 different cans for the different.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. I
Which
did.
just makes
Yeah,
it
yeah.
so much more complicated because now you have to have that many more cans on hand.
But you
and
also have to be that dedicated to the 360 can
Right.
to go through the hassle.
Although I guess it would kind of be easier to track sales geographically because if you have to can more of the non-360s, you know Jersey's really drinking it. But if you have to do more 360s, it's all Pennsylvania. Or, I mean, elsewhere
Sly
that you
Fox-
distribute.
Yeah, it's Sly Fox. How many states are you guys distributing to?
We're in 6 now.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
and only
growing.
one that allows a 360 lid, which is Pennsylvania. So,
Oh!
But you're absolutely right. That is a huge challenge of figuring out your production. What percentage of this beer needs to be in a 360 can? What percentage needs to be in the traditional lid for the other
Wow.
5 states? Which is why there's only 2 beers currently with the 360 lid. Trying to manage that is a challenge.
The 2 that you guys happen to have in front of you.
But
Yeah.
we have decided this year we're going to release a variety case, all 360 lids that we're only going to sell in Pennsylvania. So we'll have Helles, Pilsner, Volpulent, and SRT Ale, all 360 lid, only sold in Pennsylvania.
That Oh, is that's so awesome. cool.
Well, it's a cool package, and we feel like, people still are amazed by it. It's new to a lot of people, so we don't want to pump the brakes on it because the surrounding states don't allow it. So we're just going to sell them in Pennsylvania and hope to.
That's pretty awesome.
Will it be 16-ounce cans?
No, they'll be 12 ounce.
12 ounce.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate that. Like I respect and I love the 16-ounce cans, but sometimes I don't want to drink 16 ounces of one beer.
Right.
And especially like on a hot summer day. I mean, you can get a koozie, but I mean, you drink 12 ounces and it's still cold. You open another one, it's nice and cold. So I appreciate that the 12-ounce can
Just
still
put
has
ice
its place.
cubes in it. That's all you got to do.
Oh, come on now. It's like putting ice cubes in milk.
I know
It's a
people who do
crime
that.
against nature.
It is a crime against nature. I agree with that.
So we all know Sly Fox has been around for over 2 decades. Have you guys been coming to the AC Beer Fest since it began?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I remember personally the first one I came to was the year that Marky Ramone and the Ramones played, which is probably
Oh my God!
that's quite a few years ago.
I didn't know that happened.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
it was pretty badass. I was here during sound check watching them from the soundboard, so it was quite cool.
I felt all tough because I got to watch the Boss Tones sound check earlier, but nope.
But that's probably about 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure the event was going on a few years before that as well.
This is the 13th, right?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, we've been to most of them.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sure.
So
yeah,
cool.
That's cool.
That's so
really
cool.
cool.
Well, thank you guys so much. I can't imagine ending with anyone else. I mean, we love Sly Fox, we love Pennsylvania beer, and I love Pilsner. So I'm
And we
happy
love-
that I got to end
we
with
love
Pilsner.
repping the fucking lagers, man.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Come on now.
And the box. The Bachfest
Oh, and the
is one
box,
of our
yeah.
favorite events.
Yeah.
I
ever.
was just going to mention
Ever.
that, the goat races.
Yeah,
Yes.
the go races
That's
are
coming up.
May 6th.
May 6th, that's right.
Coming up. Yes, definitely.
We look forward to that. It's
one of
a
the
fun
beer
time.
events you have to get to if you can.
And get the ice box.
I still have never been to one.
What?
I know.
You're missing out.
I've tried to take
Yeah.
off for this year. But nope, I didn't get the day approved, so I will not be there this year either.
Oh man.
I know.
You're
fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
From the real job or from this?
From life.
From the real job.
From life. Oh, I just
life,
died.
you're fired
Nice
from
knowing
life.
everybody.
Well, hopefully we'll see you at the Bachfest.
You Yes,
we look forward to it.
You die and go to heaven, and St. Peter just looks at you. You're fired.
Oh, come on.
You're fired.
Anyway.
Awesome. Thanks for the support.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Enjoy the last. We're down to the last hour. We can do it, guys.
57 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Well, here we are. The fest has under an hour to go. As of right now, we have recorded for 6.5 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ.
God only knows what's going to make it in the final 2-ish episodes. I'm just throwing the ish out there right now because who knows?
I think we can get it down to 2.
We can hopefully get down to
they'll
2
probably be
episodes.
too long,
There's
but-
no way it's going to be 3. That just wouldn't make sense. But as exhausting as it
Or
was,
we release it in 20-minute chunks for the next 2 years.
we could do that.
Take some time off.
Yeah, right?
As exhausting as it was very, very, very fun
Yeah, I
and
had a great
exciting
time.
and rewarding, and I feel good with how exhausted I am. It's not very often I get to say that.
Yeah, we met a lot of really awesome new people, and we reconnected with a lot of people that we already love. So it was a good time.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of junk people.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I know we haven't done this in a long time. Are we able to pinpoint favorites from it? Do you remember enough to
Oh,
pinpoint
God,
a
we
favorite?
had too many beers, man. I don't even know.
All right.
I can't even.
There was
tried
a
to
lot
keep-
of really good ones.
I tried to keep notes, and then I just fell apart with
Every
that.
brewery we had on had really good beers.
That is true. That is actually very true.
Beet beer from Urban Village. I don't know if you guys tried it.
The
but
beef beer, yeah. We,
Oh, yes, I
yeah,
really
that was
did
really
try the
nice.
beef beer.
That was a standout.
That is a very good beer.
We should mention that we have 2 friends at the table doing
Yes.
outro with us.
I figured that was going to come up in last call, but yeah, we can.
No, they
we can do it now.
sure, why not?
We have Andrew from Manayunk.
Yeah.
And we have Kevin
Hi
Keller, you all know and love.
Who was
from
also
Evil
in the
Genius.
intro
oh,
to
yeah,
the
he
show,
was in
to the
intro,
first
that's true.
part.
Opening
So,
up.
How did you do that?
I snuck in.
Yeah.
Of course you
He did literally sneak
You
in.
guys sneaky jerk.
But a little teaser for you guys. They are here because they're doing Last Call. So if you want to hear our Last Call segment with Andrew and Kevin, go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
Yeah, and we also have another last call from the first half of this episode
Right.
with
With
our
Natalie.
friend Natalie from Founders.
This is a double whammy on the last call. Patreon.com/beerbusters, and you can sign up for as little as $1.
Yeah, we only choose the cool kids to do Last Call with us.
Yeah,
So.
Last Call's the best.
Peso, por favor.
Did you take their picture, by the way? We'll have to do that then. Anyway.
We'll do that in a little bit. But while we're talking about websites that we need to tell you to go to, don't forget beerbusterspodcast.com. Don't forget on Twitter and Instagram at beerbusters. Facebook, it's beerbusters podcast. And that all-important phone number that was used for a little bit but not anymore, 805-991-BEER, 805-991-2337. Text, leave a voicemail, whatever you want. If we get cool ones, we'll play them at the beginning of the episodes. If we don't get cool ones, I'll just keep plugging the number anyway.
So if you don't hear your message, it means that you weren't cool enough.
Try harder. Try harder. Wow. This was cool. A huge thanks to the AC Beer and Music Festival, because this was incredible. 168 breweries, 5-ish podcasts, and online entertainment outlets. And we do need to thank Good Time Tricycle Productions for providing the electricity for us to be able to do this, because it literally would not have happened had it not been for their generosity. And it needs to be said. So thank you to them as well. Well, I feel like we need to say that this does bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. A long 2-part episode. It's been a long time since we have done that.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah. But this one called for. There was too many good breweries to not interview all of them.
And we only scratched the surface.
And that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. And if you weren't here this year, come back next year. Come to 2019, and I hope that we'll be here recording next year. I'm saying it now. I saw that look, Steph. Well, I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
Sleepin' Steph Hefner, and the Demented and Fermented.
What time is it?
I don't know. Well, no squids were harmed this time, and we will see you next time.
Pause and save.